So hey guys, this is your favorite absolute era. So in this video, we will see what if Naruto was the Demon King and made Vampire Girl his slave. Naruto and Rossio crossover. But before we start, remember to subscribe and like this video. Now let's start. It was a rainy cold day in Konoha and no one there was aware or expected what was about to happen, not even the both Hokages who were discussing about a critical matter for the security of the village. So Minato, are you sure that you want to take Kushina out of the village when she is about to give birth to your child? I believe that it will make you more vulnerable to an attack, Sarutobi said with a concerned look on the eyes. Yeah, I know that, but it was her who asked me to do that for the safety of the village. According to what she had told me, the seal for that thing will be on its weakest state in the moment that she give birth to Naruto, so she wants to be as far as possible of the village just in case that something happen, Minato said as he walked up to the window. I see, so if the bearer of the demon is the one that is asking for it, she must be right, but have you taken the proper security measures for moving her? Sarutobi said as he walked to the side of Minato. Of course, several squadrons have been dispatched to survey the areas around the place where we are going to take her, and I already have a safe route to reach it, and I also had put up some barriers just in case, Minato said with a serious look on the face. Well then, have you decided when you are going to move her and who is going with you as her personal guard? Sarutobi asked as he put a hand on the young Hokage's shoulder. Yeah, we are going to move her tonight. I know it's maybe too soon, after all there's still 1 month before she gives birth to Naruto, but I think it will be better this way. It will give us some time to get accustomed to that place, and it will also give me time to prepare the resealing ceremony, Minato said in a calmed way, but his eyes were full of doubt. Take it easy, I think you made a wise decision, but who is going to accompany you? The old Hokage said with a friendly look on the face. Well, I think that Jiraiya-sensei and I will be more than enough for the personal guard, Minato said. Well, in that case I will stay on the village and cover you for the time being, boy, so you don't have to worry about other things. Just go on and look after your wife and future child, but don't you think that you and Jiraiya is way too much, the old man said with a look that said, poor the soul that tries to confront you. Yeah, you may be right, but I've been feeling a little uneasy about this lately, so I prefer to be prepared, and what can be better than a Sannin and a Hokage as guards, Minato said while giving a little smile to the older Hokage. Sarutobi. I see, in that case I wish you good luck with everything and put up a smile on your face. It's weird to see you in that serious mood, kid. Yeah, you are right, in that case I'll be on my way, Minato said as he went through the door of the Hokage office. If Yondaime Hokage is having bad feelings about this, probably I should send a special team to accompany them, Sarutobi thought to himself as he turned to look through the window. Somewhere in the Yukai world, a handsome man wearing a black lawsuit was walking along a dark corridor. He was heading towards a big black door. At the end of it his eyes looked blank and frozen, but a little grin could be seen on his face. So you arrive late as always, Miyabi. Don't you know what punctuality is? A handsome blonde man with slit eyes said with a joking tone as he reached him from behind. Kiria, what are you doing here? I didn't know that the first subdivision would be participating on this too, the man with black hair said as he gave a cold look to the blonde. Come on, don't give those looks, or are you telling me that you want to deal with me, the Shadow Reaper of Fairy Tail? Kiria said with a colder tone of voice. Besides, I didn't know either. I received a call like 2 hours ago. Apparently the chief thinks that it's better to have us both on this little job, he said with an evil grin on the face. I see. Well, in that case, if it's the chief decision I can't do anything about it, but I warn you, if you start one of you stupid little games I will not hesitate on taking you on, even if you are the chief of first subdivision. I can't allow me to fail on the retrieve of this demon fox, Miyabi stated with a serious and angry tone of voice as he gave a dead glare to Kiria. Man, you are no fun, and don't call them stupid games. Let's just say that I enjoy to see people suffering, even if it means that my job takes more time, Kiria said with the joking tone of voice again, but he quickly turned serious again as he said, but more importantly then, it's true that the chief give up on using Alucard for our plans if he is going after this Kitsune thing, but still I don't understand why a little Yukai fox instead of using the legendary Shinso Alucard. And yet that is why you are so useless under my eyes. Kiria, the boss hasn't given up to the idea of using Alucard. It's just that right now it will be quite difficult to reach it and to get the Shinsho blood needed for his revival, because as you know, Akasha Bloodriver has joined to the Shuzen clan, so if we want her blood or the body of Alucard-sama, we will need to go against the entire Shuzen clan, and right now that is a thing we can't afford, Miyabi said, sounding annoyed for the fact of having to explain things to the blonde guy. I see, so then it was true that the chief of the Dark Lords became the mate of that Count Shuzan. Well, that indeed makes things harder, but anyway, why a kitsune Yukai? I mean, they are strong, but I don't think that one can take on the 3 Dark Lords and destroy the human world, Kiriya stated with anger on his voice as he sent a look of hatred towards Miyabi. Well, and now you are not just useless but stupid. Too seriously, Kiriya, do you really believe that the boss will turn his attention to a normal fox monster? The thing that we are going after is, as I said before, a demon fox, and understand it well when I say it's a demon, I mean it. According to what I heard, probably this monster is as strong as Alucard-sama on his free state, but right now he is sealed inside of a human woman of that realm. Miyabi said that in a wise tone, trying to tease Kiriya, but his eyes were emotionless all the time. You mean that we are going after a real Akuma, one of those beings of pure hatred and power? Kiriya said with doubt on his voice, and it was not because he was weak or anything, but any Yukai or Yashi would think it twice before going against an Akuma. After all, there was a bunch of stories that talked about the terrible things that Akumas have done to humans and Yukais without exception along history. The most of the stories described them as creatures of destruction and raw power. How didn't care about anything than themselves. Now I understand why the both of us are going. When they told me that our objective was held in custody by humans, I thought it would be boring, Kiriya finally said with a grin on his face. He was getting interested. Look, that is why I can't stand you getting excited. For the fact that you may fight something that finally managed to kill you, but let me tell you this, we are going together not only because of our objective, as I mentioned before, we are going to another realm or dimension. Cause currently all pure demons disappeared from this world a long time ago, and obviously a different dimension includes different conditions for everything. Actually, it seems that the humans over there are called shinobis and have the ability to manipulate a special kind of energy similar to Yuki in order to increase their strength and manipulate the nature. But seriously, I expected you to notice that. After all, why would we have you stealing a dimensional seal from Mikogami if it wasn't for this, you idiot? Miyabi said, sounding quite annoyed for the ignorance of Kiriya about the matter. Kiriya stopped walking and turned his left arm in something similar to a scythe, and in an instant he disappeared and appeared in front of Miyabi with the scythe against his neck. You know, Fujisaki, if we weren't forced to do this job together, I would have killed you a little while ago, and you know that I can, so don't be acting like that around me if you value your life. And to tell you the truth, who is more stupid, the one that ignores the situation or the one that? Kiriya disappeared in an instant and reappeared a few meters away, hitting one wall with his scythe, destroying it completely along with the poor Yukai that was hidden behind it, or the one that reveals his plan. Whiteout, realizing that he is not alone. Oh, and don't get angry, but I realized that someone was spying on us a lot of time ago, but I didn't tell you or did anything because I thought it could prove to be one of those, how did you call them, yes, stupid games of mine, Kiriya said with an evil grin while he crushed the head of the spy under his feet. What the hell, you damn idiot, you did it again. That spy was probably from the Dark Lord. Common, we got to hurry and accomplish our mission before they catch with us, Miyabi said as he ran and went through the giant black doors. It may be, as you said, an idiotic decision of mine, but come on, humans that can match with Yukai's a true demoness and the Dark Lords, you can't deny that things are way more interesting now than before, Kiriya tough as he gave an evil laugh and then went through the same doors. Yukai Gakuen. At the same moment, 2 men were standing inside of a room looking at what appeared to be some kind of screens. In one, the conversation between Kiriya and Miyabi was being displayed, and in the other one the face of a pink-haired woman with emerald-colored eyes could be seen. One of the 2 monks was wearing a white robe over his head, so his face was darkened and both of his eyes seemed to glow. The other man was shorter in height and looked a lot older. He was wearing old-fashioned Chinese robes. He got long gray hair and was wearing sunglasses. So it seemed that you were right, Mikogami, they were after something different now, but to tell you the truth, for them to want to go and use a pure-blood Akuma, it's rather dumb or crazy. I mean, how are they planning to control him? In history there's no record of any Yukai capable of controlling a demon, the pink-haired girl in one of the screens said to the man with the white robe with a serious tone in her voice. Well, Akasha, I believe they are not exactly planning to control the demon. Probably what they want to do is set him loose and then teleport him directly to the human world and let him go rampage over there until he destroys everything. But what is important here is the matter of how did they found out about the existence of that realm. The only ones who knew were Mikogami, you and me, the old man with sunglasses said with concern on his voice. I believe that would be my fault, Toho, that boy over there Yoshi Kiriya is, or was a student here, he proved To be quite capable even if he was an Ayashi and at that moment he seemed to idealize with human and Yukai Pacific Association, so I took him in and gave him my confidence, but about a month ago he ran away from the school with some dimensional seals and my traveling diary in which all our travels through the realms were dated. That made me realize something, that boy maybe look young but he probably is older than what he looks, and quite strong too, because he killed my whole personal guard before leaving, Mikogami stated with a cold yet sad tone, probably because he thought that Kiryu could have been a good ally on his fight for peace between monsters and humans. He must be very skilled if he managed to deceive you, Miko-chan, but anyway, what are we going to do? You know that right now I can't give you direct help. After all, I have to look after my newborn girl, and there's also the problem related to my blood and the seal, Akasha said as she picked up a little baby girl with red slit eyes and silver hair in a hug. Really, aka Chan, you will never change even when you are the strongest Yukai I ever seen. You have time to be a kind and sweet woman and mother, and don't worry about that. Miko-chan and I will take care of everything. We will head immediately towards that dimension. I really hope that they receive us well over there. After all, there has been about 100 years since the last time we went there, the old man with sunglasses said as he smiled to the baby girl on the screen. What caused her to laugh? Yeah, with the both of us will be more than enough. I know that Kiryu guys is strong but not stronger than me. The only one that is a complete mystery is that guy Miyabi, but I can always seal him. And please stop calling me Miko-chan. I told you it doesn't suit with a macabre guy like me, he said as he gave a smile to the baby girl on the screen, but this time she put up an scared face and hid between her mother arms. See, even your baby agrees, he stated. Okay, I understand. In that case I wish you good luck over there, she said with a smile, and then the screen turned off. At the same moment in the other screen Kiryu appeared in front of the screen, and then the image was cut off. It seems that they found out, so we must be on our way as fast as we can, old friend. We don't want a demon over here in our dimension, Mikogami said with an evil grin on his face as the both mons dash out of the room. Hey Mikogami, do you know who is the bearer of the fox this time? The last time we were over there the bearer was our sensei Mito Uzumaki. We owe her nearly all our knowledge on sealing abilities, but I doubt she's still alive, so any ideas? I said with a distant look as he was remembering old times. Well, from what I heard last time, just the members of the Uzumaki clan were capable of holding the demon fox, so I think that we should look for a girl or woman with the same hair color as the one of Mito sensei. It was a characteristic of her clan, Mikogami said as he opened the dimensional portal and he and the older man jumped inside. Kanahagakure Hospital. A woman with an incredibly beautiful face and long red hair was walking along the gardens while hugging her belly as she sang a little song for her not-born child. Naruto, you don't even know how much I want to see your little face, my loved son, she thought to herself as she knelt to pick up some flowers. My love, I think that you shouldn't be doing that with Naruto inside of you. He could get hurt, Minato said with a happy voice. Kushina was scared by Minato's sudden appearance, so she jumped with a scared face. You are the one who is going to hurt him by giving those scares to his sweet mother, you mean man, she said while pouting. Sorry about that, it's just that I love how you look when you are scared, my love, he said while laughing. Why, I am not surprised. So are you here for accompanying me to you know where? I didn't expect you as my guard, she said with a sweet tone of voice. Yes, there has been some plan changes, so your guard will be me and sensei. Aren't you happy your beloved husband will be with you, he said as he hugged her from behind. You don't even know how happy I am, but Minato, I really want to tell you something. Recently I've been having this, let's say, weird feeling like if something is going to happen and nothing will be the same, not us and not Naruto, she said, sounding really scared this time, so she turned around in order to look at the eyes of her lover. Please promise me that you won't let that anything happens to Naruto, not even if my life is in danger, because I will do anything for him, even die if needed, she said with tears falling from her eyes. Kushina, don't say that nothing is going to happen, and I promise you that we will live a happy life together with our child, he said while he hugged her tight, but she pushed him and looked straight to his eyes. Please Minato, promise me that even if I die you will save him. He is my whole world now, she said with a sad yet firm look in her eyes. Okay Kushina, I promise, but you didn't have to make me swear. I would also give my life for my son, but please believe me, nothing bad is going to happen. I won't let anyone lay a hand on you or on my son, and if it's that demon fox, the one who dares to do anything, I will beat the crap out of him, he said with fire on his eyes and with a lot of resolution as he kissed her on the lips. At that same moment a blonde guy with a scythe his arm and a handsome man with a cold and empty look in the eyes were staring at them from the roof on the hospital. The blonde was smiling evilly while the other guy was preparing to make his move. So we found her, and to tell you the truth I think that this will be a real waste, say as a hot babe, even if she's pregnant. What a shame for the brat, thought he will die even before being born, but still this make things more interesting, Kirya stated as his evil smile got bigger. Calm down, you know what you need to do, don't you, Kirya? Hold down that blonde guy while I send her mind to sleep. According to what intelligence told us, that would be just enough to bring the demon to control, because the seal is on its weakest state thanks to her pregnancy. Immediately after that the other teams will start preparing for the teleporting, and don't even think of taking out any of the scout teams of shinobi around the hospital. Thanks to that drug the chief gave me, they will be like puppets to us in the moment I sound this, Miyabi said as he showed Kirya something that looked like a flute. Well then let's begin, Mayab said to all the teams involved. In the moment that Minato and Kushina separated from their embrace, Minato could see a blonde guy with a psycho look on the face in front of him. Next thing he knew was that he was flying towards a wall after that man hit him with what seemed to be his arm, but it looked like a scythe. In that moment Miyabi appeared behind of Kushina and a dark flame started to come out of his fingers as he shouted, I am sorry, but we need the thing inside of you, so please die. As he was striking he heard a voice behind him. I am sorry, but that won't happen, you bastard, take this Odama Rasengan, Minato shouted as he struck the brow-haired guy with his right hand, in which one he was holding a ball of chakra spinning at high speed. The man was covered by the attack and was sent flying against a wall. Kushina, are you all right? He shouted towards the direction in which the blonde sent flying Minato's cage Bunshin. Yeah, I'm all right, I got him chained to the wall. She appeared from behind some bushes with a smile on her face. He don't seem to use chakra, but his weird kind of energy can be sealed as well with my technique, she said as she was staring at Kirya, who was now pinned down to the wall. I can't believe it, you shinobis are indeed great, not like the trashy humans of our dimension. To think that you were able to hide and then restrain my with this invisible chains, and that guy who altered space-time and moved at that incredible speed. But sadly for you I did my homework, Kirya said with a crazy tone of voice while laughing. What do you mean by telling that you did your homework, psycho? Kushina shouted to the blonde man in sweet with hatred in her eyes as she tightened the grip of the chakra chains. Well miss, that means that I know that you have to put your full attention in the thing that you are sealing, so that means that we win. As Kirya said that, his horizontal slit eyes started to shine, and with that Kushina was trapped inside the last nightmare she would have as a living being, and the only thing that she could do was scream in horror. Minato, save Naruto, I beg you, for me it's already too late, the QB has my soul now. And after that her world sank into darkness, and the last thing she could heard was the voice of that psychopath saying, do not worry, rest well in your dream, my little girl. I can promise you that your dreams will be full of blood and slaughtering, and when you wake up everything will be chaos and destruction. And after hearing that she only heard a psychopath laugh as she sank into darkness. Meanwhile in the exterior the skies started to turn red and dark clouds started to gather, and in that moment a terrible presence could be felt all along Konoha, and that was followed by a monstrous growl. Minato couldn't believe what was going on in front of his eyes. Just a moment ago his wife was standing in front of him telling him that the enemy was neutralized, but right now the enemy that was supposed to be sealed was laughing on his face. That was when he heard Kushina scream, and he realized that somehow the blonde man has done something to her, and that something has caused that the Kyuubi started to break out from his prison. It must be some kind of genjutsu. If I reach her, I still can bring her back, Minato thought to himself. And then he vanished in the air, and when he was about to reach Kushina he felt a massive hit on his body. It was as if he was hilted with a cannonball. He could hear the sound of his ribs as they were shattered to pieces. He fell to the ground and started coughing blood. When he turned to stare at the thing that had hit him he was in shock. It was the man that he sent flying with his full power Odama Rasengan just a minute ago, but right now he was standing in front of him just with his shirt turned to pieces and some cuts all over his body. Man, don't give me that look, I'll give you credit. That was an incredible attack. Seeing that it come from a human, it was strong enough to knock me out for a little bit, but it seems that my regenerative powers are as good as ever, and also you have managed to resist one of my full power hits. For a human you are over the top, Miyabi said to Minato with a cold look on his eyes as he walked towards him. Who are you people? What have you done to my wife and son, and why? Minato said as he fight to get up, but that only worsened of his internal bleeding. Who are we and what do we want? Well, I believe it's okay to tell you. After all, I'm about to kill you. Well, you see, we are from another dimensional realm, and we Want to take the demon inside your wife? Our objective is to use it to vanquish all humanity in our dimension. And for doing that my companion Kiria over there has used a certain special ability of him that consists in taking out the souls of their bodies and seal them inside his body. So right now the one standing there, it's the Kyuubi itself. He still's being sealed inside of her, but without her soul in her body. He is capable of using her body at his free will, and he is also capable of using all his power if he wants. So if you believe that this is one of the simple illusionary jutsus from this world, you are very wrong this time. If you want her soul, you will have to kill my companion. Miyabi explained all his plans to Minato until he was standing in front of him, his eyes cold and empty as always. So tell me, how do you plan to seal the demon back when he is done with his job? Minato said with anger in his voice as he finally managed to sit and face Miyabi eye to eye. Come on, think a little and you will get that answer. For yourself, haven't I told you that my partner has the soul of your wife inside of him? So in the moment the partially unsealed Kyuubi finishes his job, we will free her soul and destroy it. And if I'm not bad informed, there is a bond between a Jinchuriki and the demon sealed inside of them. So if her soul is destroyed, the Kyuubi will die automatically. And about your not born son, I'm sorry, but you could consider him as a disposable digit inside the equation, Miyabi stated as he raised Minato from the ground to give him the finishing blow. But when he was about to do it, he saw a ray of light passing in front of him, and then he felt pain. His arm was cut down from his body. Then he saw another man with a frog-like aspect in front of him. He had long white hair and 2 frogs were sitting on his shoulders. You dare to do this to my student and think that you can go away without retribution? Don't be ridiculous. Take this Sanin mode Odama Rasengan. The man shouted to him. Everything happened so fast, so the last thing that Miyabi felt was an intense pain all over his body as he was sent flying to the sky. Kiria was in front of the body of Kushina staring at everything that has happened, and he was not afraid for the fact that there was a frog-like looking guy in front of him. He was afraid for the fact that he saw the ray of light that cut his partner's arm, and that was the Jigen 2, the secret technique of one of the Dark Lord's Toho Fui. So if he was here, that meant that person was here too. He suddenly felt the necessity of leaving this place, but he remembered his mission as he heard the sound of a flute. So he took out a communicator and said, "Okay, all units, start the teleportation protocol right now. Take us to the human world." He waited for a teleporting dome to appear, but nothing happened, so he started to get nervous. But when he noticed that a golden barrier has formed around him, he entered in panic. What up? Do you really believe that we were going to chase you without a good backup plan, kid? I know you, so I teleported myself to the area around where I felt you slight Yuki signature and started looking for traces of your plan, and guess what? I found a bunch of ninjas under the effect of a mind-controlling drug of our world, so don't expect for a portal cause it won't appear, Mikogami said with a scary laugh as he suddenly appeared in the air holding the Rosario of Judgment on his right hand. Suddenly another weird-looking guy appeared in front of Minato and Jiraiya. He was tall and was wearing some kind of traditional Chinese robes and a pair of sunglasses, but what took Minato's attention was his long pointed ears and his long black hair. Who would have thought that young Jiraiya would have become in this powerful ninja to be able of taking out an S-class Yukai with one hit, the weird-looking guy said with a grin on his face. Jiraiya-sensei, do you know this weird-looking guys, Minato said as he coughed more blood. Don't talk, you are in a very bad condition right now, and don't worry, I met them when I was a child. I can tell you that they were good friends of the first Hokage and that they have come to help us. Ma, could you start healing Minato? Jiraiya said in a comforting way to his beloved student and then speak to one of the toads on his shoulders. At that moment inside of Mikogami barrier started to laugh as crazy. So it seems that everything turned out to be more interesting than what I expected. Well, why end up the game here when I can do this? Kiria said with an evil grin on his face as one of his eyes started to glow. This time it was the vertical slit one. Now Demon Fox, rise and show me what you can do against the ones that kept you sealed, Kiria said with an evil laugh. Suddenly a terribly evil chakra started to go out of Kushina's body, and then suddenly there was a terrible explosion of crimson color that sended everyone flying in different directions, and after the glow disappeared, the Kyuubi was there standing in front of Konoha's hospital. Kiria took advantage of this and escaped from Mikogami's barrier, and he rushed and reached Miyabi's body. He grabbed him and then he opened a portal, but before going through it he turned to all the people present in that moment and said in a cruel tone of voice, I accept that I lose this time, so we are not going to take the demon today, but as this is just a game, I will left you all a price, and this price will be that I will give you the opportunity of resealing the beast once again. Thought I think it will be impossible without your wife's soul, so good luck fuckers, and after saying that he walked into the portal and disappeared. Damn it, that man is a real monster. He even dared to break the seal after leaving. As things are right northwest, there will be no other option than sealing the demon forever in an object, but I am afraid that would kill your wife and you son. Young man, the guy with sunglasses said as he started preparing some runes around his body. No place, please wait. There must be another way to seal that demon. Even if I can only save my son, it will be more than enough. Minato said as he was walking with a lot of difficulty towards where the guy with glasses and the guy with a cloak were standing. The both of them were surprised of the young man. It was a true miracle that he was standing. He got damage to internal organs by the cause of Miyabi's attack, and the explosion from before had blown him against a building, so he was full of cuts and bruises. Well, young Hokage, there is indeed a way that we could use to save your son, but the decision of using it doesn't reside on us, because by using this technique you will be condemning your son to live as a demon, and you as his only living father will have to pay with your soul, but he will be alive, the robbed man said with a dark tone of voice. So he won't be human anymore. But, please tell me, will he be able to have feelings as happiness, sadness, or love, or he will be just like the Kyuubi, a being of pure hatred? Minato said as he fall to the ground. His vision was getting blurry. Look, we are talking about using a technique called soul bonding sealing. In short, what these will do is reset the existence of the Kyuubi by bonding his soul with your child's soul, so they will become one new being. It will be as causing the rebirth of the Kyuubi, so he will still be a demon, but he also will be as a white canvas waiting for an artist to paint something on it, so he can learn to have feelings and to care for the people. If someone shows him to, it will be a difficult but not impossible task. The man with sunglasses said to Minato with a serious tone of voice as he stopped his runic work and knelt beside him. So Minato Namikaze, will you decide to condemn your son to a demon's life in order to save him? Mikogami asked him with an omnipotent tone of voice. Minato turned to look at the place where the Kyuubi was. He was going rampage over the center part of Konoha. He was shooting chakra bombs in all directions. A lot of desperate cries could be heard in the distance. He was hesitant, but then he remembered the promise he made with Kushina. Save Naruto whatever is the cost. Then he smiled. Naruto, I will put a big burden upon you, but because you are my son I will have faith on you and hope that you will become a good guy or demon, so then I accept. I want you to save him at whatever is the cost, Minato said as he stood up with a lot of difficulty. Very well then, to tell you the truth, your child is a lucky one to have such a pair of caring parent. Then after hearing your resolution, I can promise you that I will do everything in my power to save you, son, Mikogami said with a friendly tone of voice. Wait just a moment please. The voice of Jiraiya could be heard in the distance. He appeared accompanied by another old man. It was Sarutobi, the third Hokage. We have heard everything, sir. Are you really sure that you want to condemn your son to a demon's life just to save him? He could easily end up as the Kyuubi is right now. Minato, just answer me this: why have you decided to do that, and then I'll decide to support you or not, Sarutobi warned him. Well, old man, I can only tell you that I decided to do this because I promised to Kushina that if anything happened to her I would do anything in my power to save our son. But there is also another reason. As a father, one has to have faith on his son and believe that he will take the best decisions by himself, and I'm quite sure that if he doesn't take the right decisions, you and Jiraiya-sensei will look after him and make him come back to the straight path. But lastly, and over all the other reasons, I want him to live even if he has to be turned into a demon, because I love him and I want him to live and have a happy life even if I'm not there to look at him, Minato said with tears falling from his eyes. It was the first time that anyone had seen Yondaime Hokage cry. Very well then, I understand your point and I will have faith on your decision. So Mikogami and Fuai-sama, do you need our help to do the sealing? The third Hokage said with a serious look on his face. Yeah, if you both can keep that creature only on one place would be of a lot of help, Fuai said to the third Hokage. Very well, let's go. Jiraiya will hold that demon still until that technique is done, he said, and then he disappeared on an instant. Don't worry Minato, I will look after your son as if he were mine. I promise that I will train him to be the best ninja that have ever existed, Jiraiya said with tears falling from his eyes, and he followed the third Hokage. When Mikogami and Toho Fuai finally finished the runic enchantments needed for the soul bonding seal, more than a half of Konoha was already covered on fire. There were lots of corpses lying on the ground. The Only way for stopping the demon fox now was by striking him with this technique, and in order to do that the Kyuubi must be keep still. So to achieve this, Jiraiya summoned 4 giant frogs including Gamabunta and Sarutobi, formed a cage around the demon by using the weapon form of his invocation, the Monkey King Enma. The fox struggled in order to get out from the cage, but it was too late for him. Suddenly an enormous rune appeared on the sky and on the floor, followed by a white flash. The last thing that was heard from the fox was his horrible voice coursing the names of Minato and Kushina. When the shining light disappeared, the floor around the place where the fox was standing was completely burned, and the shape of a circle was formed with the ashes, and in the middle of that circle a kid was standing. He didn't appear to be a baby, he looked like a 2 or 3 years old child, and he seemed to be normal. So Jiraiya started to approach to where the kid was standing. When he was just a few steps away from him, he managed to see that he was not as normal as he thought first. Of all, the kid had blonde spiked hair as his father, but the point of each of his spikes was orange-colored. Both of his eyes had a black border around them, but what was more impressive was the fact that his right eye was of a deep blue color, but his left eye looked like one of the original demon fox. It was crimson red, and he had a slit pupil on the face. He got some marks that looked like whiskers, and finally the last thing that he noted was that the kid's left arm was covered with some weird marks like tattoos that went from his shoulders to his wrist. They were black-colored, and on that hand his nails looked like claws. When he was about to reach him, the little boy started crying as he mumbled something. Why did this happen? I didn't want to do this. I can't even remember when or why did I do this, but I know that it is my fault. Just look at all this destruction, all this sadness. Why could you answer me, that old man? Who and what am I, and why do I feel responsible of all this destruction? The little boy said as he turned to look at Jiraiya as tears fell down from his eyes. Why, your name is Naruto, little kid, and you are not responsible of nothing. Everything that has happened was a terrible accident caused by mean people that wanted to take you away from your parents, but I can assure you that you are going to be alright from now on, so please stop crying, Jiraiya said as he kneeled in front of the little kid and patted him on the head. Naruto, I see it's a great name, I like it, and you say that this wasn't my fault and was caused by mean people who wanted to take me away, but I'm just a child. Then why could it be related to this great strength I feel inside of me? Naruto said as he put on a thoughtful look on the face. Oh, that right, you said that they wanted to take me away from mommy and daddy, but I'm still here, so where are they? Naruto asked to Jiraiya with a lot of hope on his eyes. Well, Naruto, I'm afraid that they're, well, Jiraiya doubted if it was a good idea to tell the truth to the young demon, but he was interrupted by an old man with sunglasses and a man with a white robe as they appeared behind the little kid. Little kid, there is something that you need to know before we tell you about your parents. First, you have to understand that you are not human anymore, but also you are not a monster. What you are. The old man with sunglasses was explaining to the little kid, but was interrupted by Jiraiya. Don't even think of doing that. But as he was saying that, Sarutobi appeared in front of him, and as he put an hand on his old student's shoulder, he told him, "No, Jiraiya, this is something that Naruto has to know. I have talked it with both of them, and this will be the last probe for him, and if he fails, you know what will happen." The third Hokage said the last part in a low tone of voice. If he reacts violently when he realizes that he is a demon, now everything will end for him. I'm sorry. Well, kid, as I was saying, you are not a human nor a monster, but something else that goes by the name of demon or Akuma. But the most important thing here is that you are an Akuma now because someone loved you so much that decided to do anything on his hands to save your life, and that person was your father. As Jiraiya said before, some mean persons tried to take not you, but the former demon. You were the nine-tailed fox Kyuubi. No, Yuko, who was sealed in your mother. I'm quite sorry for not arriving sooner to this place. Maybe we could have saved her, but when we got here it was already too late. The demon was on the loose, and you as an unborn child was on your mother's womb at that same time. So in order to save you, little child, we bounded your soul and the one of the demon into one in order to save you. So if you were here standing in front of me as thanks to the love that your parents felt for you, and always remember that, the old man with sunglasses said to the young boy with a serious tone of voice as he looked straight into the eyes of the little kid. The little kid with blonde hair with red slashes stood there motionless for a moment that seemed to last forever. But in the end, with a little grin on his face, he said, I understand, so I'm a demon. That would explain a lot of things, like the incredible power I feel inside of me, or the fact that I feel younger from what I look. But I'm really glad to hear that my parents loved me that much, and I feel that I must assume that they are gone according to what you just said. But sir, I have one last question for you. Naruto said with a bitter smile on his face. And what would that be, young one? The old man with sunglasses asked as he turned his full attention to Naruto. If I am a demon, am I destined to be a cruel and evil monster, or that can be changed? The young kid asked with a lot of fear on his voice. This time the one to answer his question was the other man, that man with shining eyes who had a white robe on his head. Listen me well, kid, no one is destined to be a specific kind of person just because he is from one race. Things like destiny don't exist, so don't ever think that just because you are a demon you have to be evil. You can decide the kind of person you want to be by making choices by yourself. I'm not telling you that it will be easy especially for you, but I can assure you that if you make the right choices one day everyone will recognize you, the man said with a little laugh that seemed sinister, but for Naruto was one of the most authentic laughs he had ever heard. Thanks a lot, sir. It's good to know that, and I will trust in your words and live up to them, and I can assure you all that all of you will be proud of me even if it's hard. It'll make it so to start. I am going to help the people in the village, the little kid said, this time with a big smile that resembled a lot to the way his mother smiled, and with that the kid disappeared on the direction of where the town was destroyed. Wait, Naruto, I'll help you. I leave the details to you, Jiraiya, the third Hokage said as he followed the kid with a smile on his face. So exorcist and Toho Fui-sama, what is going to happen with him? He looks so lively, as he always be like that? Jiraiya asked them with concern on his voice. Well, little Jiraiya-chan, as Mikogami said, his life won't be easy. Probably his worst enemy will be loneliness, so it will be in your hands and in the hands of the ones that are around him to turn him on a fine man, the old man with sunglasses told him on a caring tone of voice. Then what other details do I have to know about the life of a demon? Jiraiya asked with a serious tone of voice. This time Mikogami was the one to answer. Well, you see, demons are ethereal creatures who are immortal. So most likely from here on he will grow normally. Until he reach a certain age he will stop aging, and about his demonic powers they will grow stronger with time, so it will be wiser to train him in different ways so that he don't have to rely on them, because the powers of a demon are based on bad emotions, so it could prove dangerous for him if he uses them a lot. That, and because of that, believe that it would be good if he come with us to live in our dimensional realm. Over there he would be near people that are more like him, and there we could teach him to get a good hold of his powers, the man said with a serious voice. But I'm his only family now. Besides, I promised his father that I will train him and look after him, so Jiraiya is trying to convince them, but Mikogami interrupted him. We know that, and we talked about it with his father on his last moments, and he understood why he must go to our realm, but made us promise that we would let him live here until he turns 15, and after that he would come with us to our school to learn how to restrain himself. He would pass 3 years over there, and then it would be up to him to decide if he stays in our realm or if he comes back, and we accepted, Mikogami said in an annoyed tone of voice. I see. In that case, if it was his father's decision, I will follow it, and I can promise you that I'll train him and teach him everything that I know so that he don't have to depend of his demonic powers, Jiraiya told them with a lot of decision on his voice. Well, in that case we leave him in your hand, and we will say how good is he doing on 12 years, so please keep this, and on this very same date, but in 15 years use it and we will come for him, the old man with sunglasses told him as he handed him a red scroll, and with that the two monks from another dimension disappeared. And that is how on that fatidic day the destiny of Naruto Uzumaki was sealed. On that same day he gave up to his humanity, and he was condemned to live his life as a demon. 12 years later, as everyone expected on that day, the life of Naruto was a very hard one. Most of the people on the now rebuilt village of Konohagakure were afraid of him, so his first enemy, just as Toho Fui said, was loneliness. Most of the time he spent on the Ninja Academy he was alone, but he never gave up, and even when nearly everyone ignored him he still did everything on his power to help other people, and that on the end let him make some friend. One of them was Sakura Haruno. She was a cute girl with a terrible temperament. Actually Naruto got a crush on her, and the other one was Sasuke Uchiha, who was more like his rival, but always considered him as family. Naruto also maintained a good relationship with his team instructor Kakashi. But what really marked Naruto's life was an incident that occurred when his friend Sasuke tried to flee from the village under the influence of Orochimaru's words. He went after him and ended up having a fight with him in order to convince him to return, but on that fight Naruto is too much of his demonic power and ended Up killing his friend Naruto always felt a hole on his heart after that moment, even when he got people who cared a lot about him and didn't blame him for it. Probably the only person that truly understood him was his godfather Jiraiya, or pervy sage as he called him, after he saw how hurt Naruto was by the cause of this incident. He took him on a trip for 3 years, and today was the day in which them were coming back home to accomplish the treatment that was made so many years ago. "So Ero-Sennin, are you sure that this is necessary? I mean, I feel quite good living in here. Why do I have to go to that school anyway?" the young blonde teen asked to Jiraiya with an annoyed tone of voice. "It is necessary, Naruto. We come to an agreement with them 12 years ago, and besides they will help you to learn to control those demonic powers of yours so that you don't have to worry about accidents just like," the older man was saying, but stopped when he looked that his student was getting depressed. "Yeah, you are right. Probably it will be better if I go, but it's just that I don't want to be alone again," Naruto said as he frowned. "Don't worry, Naruto. I'm quite sure you will be able of making good friends over there. Who knows, maybe there you find the lady who will lighten up your heart," Jiraiya said with a smile on his face. "Come on, Ero-Sennin, don't be making up weird ideas about this," he said as he punched him on the shoulder, and then he lifted his face to see the 2 giant doors of his home village, which one was a place full of good and bad memories. "So we are back, huh? Yeah, we should head to see Tsunade right away. After all, she has the teleporting seal with her. I wonder if she still has them as big as ever," the old man said with a grin. "A lot of things have changed on Konoha on those 12 years. First of all, the village was much bigger now, and the 3rd Hokage was dead thanks to the same man that took Sasuke away. So now the 5th Hokage was Tsunade, an old teammate of Jiraiya. She was another person that was quite fond in Naruto's well-being. After all, she learned a lot from him." When they arrived to the Hokage's office, they were warmly received by Tsunade, Sakura, and Shizune, who happened to be the Hokage's assistant. "I'm so glad to see you again, Naruto. It's been a while and you have grown so much that I can't believe it. You are even taller than me now," Sakura said with a friendly smile on her face. "It's a shame that you have to go immediately after you came back," she stated with a sad look now. "I'm so glad to see you too, Sakura. You look exactly as how I remember you," Naruto said with a warm smile, but he was hit on the face by Sakura. "What, you are telling me, a beautiful miss, that I still look like a little girl, you insensible idiot," she said, sounding quite angry. Now kids, stop playing," Tsunade said with a little laugh. "So Naruto, are you ready to go? I received word from that realm and will send someone called bus driver tonight to pick you up, so I already prepared all you things for your trip. After all, you are going to be there for a long time, so I make sure to give you enough of everything, even ramen cups. Oh, and there's also some gifts that..." Tsunade was speaking with Naruto on a motherly way but was cut short as she felt Naruto hugging her tight. "I'm also glad of seeing you again, Tsunade Obeken, and I'm sure that you know that I'm not ready for leaving, but it's for my own good, so there's no other option. But anyway, thank for worrying about me and doing all that stuff for me," Naruto told he with a big smile on his face, and this made Tsunade to cry a little. "It was nothing, Naruto. You know that you can count with me at any time because I see you as my own son, my little and sweet demon," Tsunade said to Naruto as she caressed his left cheek. "So anyway, as I was saying, there are some gifts for you along your luggage. After all, we will miss your next 3 birthdays. Some are from your friends and are sealed on the scrolls you will be taking, but I want you to have this too immediately, Sakura, and I made this specially for you," she said to him with a sweet tone of voice as she handed him 2 small boxes. When Naruto opened them, inside of one he saw what looked like a little piece of glass, and in the other one there was some kind of globe. "What are they, Obeken?" he asked with a lot of curiosity. "Well, as you know, your physical aspect didn't help you on socializing at the Ninja Academy, especially because they were afraid of you, red eye and stuff. So now that you are going to a completely new place, I wanted you to have things a little easier. So that little piece of glass, in the moment that you put it in your eye, it will make it look just like your right eye, and that glove will help you hide the marks on your left arm and also those claws of yours," she said as she patted him on the back. "Really, that would be great, Obeken. It will make me look well more human-like," Naruto said as he put on the piece of glass on his left eye and the glove on his left hand, and immediately what used to be a red slit eye was now a normal blue-colored eye, and the makings on his left arm disappeared along with the claws. "I'm glad that you like them, but come on, what are we doing here? Let's go to Ichiraku Ramen and throw a goodbye party for your kid," she told them, and with that everyone went out of the Hokage's building. After that, the time passed quite fast, and finally it was the time for saying goodbye, because officially the fact of Naruto's going to another dimension was a confidential matter. Just a few people were at the doors of the village at midnight to say goodbye. It was only a matter known to Kakashi, Sakura, Tsunade, Shizune and Jiraiya. So guy the first think that it's time to say goodbye then, so I thank you all for everything that you have done for me until today. He turned to them with a sad look on his eyes. I'm the one that thanks you Naruto, I'm glad that I get to know you, I have learned a lot from you, so I wish you the best. Look over there, Kakashi told to the young blonde as he hugged him. Naruto, I think that everything will be less fun without you around here, but please take care and be sure to write and use the teleporting scroll Tsunade gave you to send me cards. I'm going to miss you a lot, Sakura said with a sweet voice as she hugged him and kissed him on the cheek. I wish you the best luck at school and be sure to stay healthy and train a lot Naruto, and also remember people over there can't use chakra, so if they ask about your fighting style tell them that it's a part of your abilities, Shizune told him with the attitude of a big sister as she hugged him. Kid, I can't put into words how proud I am of you. You have been fighting hard all your life and you never gave up, so I hope that you keep being like that. Never let anything overcomes you, kid. Even if you think that it's weird, I'll tell you one thing, I love you as my own son and I hope that you find happiness over there, so come on, give me a hug you snooty brat, Jiraiya said as he hugged Naruto tightly with tears on his eyes. I'll better go and open the portal, it's nearly the time. Naruto, please promise me that you will stay out of trouble and that you will stop keeping everything that you feel inside of you. I know you quite well and I know that right now you want to cry, but you are holding back to not worrying us. It's okay, but over there you need to open up a little more to other people or you will get crazy. Please promise me that you will think about it, Tsunade said to him with a motherly look on her eyes. I promise to think about it, Obake, he said with a smile. Suddenly a portal appeared and something made of metal appeared in front of them. It seems he is here. Well Naruto, one last thing, I love you, please take care over there and do not dare to forgive us, Tsunade said as she embraced him tightly. As if I could, Oba-chan. Well, I think it's time. Goodbye everyone, Naruto said as he turned to face the metal thing that have appeared. A door was open at the front part. Naruto walked towards that thing as a tear fell from his eyes. When he entered the vehicle he noticed that a man wearing a blue suit and a cap was staring at him with his glowing eyes. So you are the demon child, interesting. It seems that you have grown to be more human-like. That we thought this could prove to be quite interesting, but you must be aware that we are heading to a quite dangerous place. So are you ready, kid? The creepy-looking man asked him with an evil laugh as he took a puff from his cigar. Naruto turned to look one last time to his friends and then turned to tell him with a lot of decision, I'll take on the risk, so let's get going. Very well then, the bus driver said with an evil grin as he started the engine and went into the portal to suddenly disappear on thin air. Naruto was standing beside the bus driver when they entered on the dimensional as he looked how the image of his friends vanished. Are you having second thoughts now, kid? It's not too late to turn back, the bus driver said, and then he chuckled in a disturbing way. Not at all, and besides I don't think that your master would let me escape from this that easily. After all, it was him who wanted me to come here, isn't it? Naruto stated with a challenging voice as he turned to look at the creepy man. Oh, so the demon boy is quite perceptive too. Well, in that case there is no reason for denying it. You were right, kid. From the moment you stepped inside of the bus your fate was sealed, and to tell you the truth it's quite good to see that even when you knew that you didn't do anything. To tell you the truth, I was kind of expecting to have to force you to come with me. After all, you are a demon, the bus driver stated this time with a way more scarier voice, but this didn't cause any reaction on Naruto. Come one, old man, not because I'm a demon I have to act like one. Besides, didn't I told you that I was taking the risk just a moment ago? Naruto said as he smiled to the bus driver on a friendly way, but he suddenly changed his mood to a more serious one. And if we would have end up fighting, I'm not quite sure if I could beat you. I can tell just by looking at you that you are monstrously strong, aren't you, bus driver-san? Naruto said as he looked directly at him as expecting a reaction. The bus driver just gave him a creepy laugh as he gave a puff to his cigar. You are indeed an interesting kid. You are even capable of telling how strong I am when my Yuki is perfectly hidden. They indeed had trained you well. I can't wait to see how you develop yourself at the academy, so why don't you go and sit on the back and relax yourself a little? I was just teasing you, he said with a grin on his face. I knew that already, old man. It's not the first time that someone tries to mess up with me, but can you stop calling me demon, kid? My name is Naruto, he stated with a carefree tone of voice as he walked towards the backseats of the bus. Well then, Naruto, hang on tight, cause this is going to be a long travel and we still need to pick up another kid. Who knows, maybe you can befriend with him, the bus driver said in a friendly but still scary voice. Aono household, Japan. My name it's Sukune Aono. I'm 15 years old and I'm nothing more than a plain and normal Japanese boy. There's nothing too great about me. I don't have good grades. I'm not good in any specific sport and I don't have any hobby. Probably those are some of the reasons of why I couldn't find any high school that wanted to accept me. In one word, I could be described as mediocre. I already had given up and made up to the idea of being a school dropout and start working at something, but it was then that my father showed up one night with the entry papers for an academy that I had never heard about. For me it was quite suspicious, but my parents were completely happy and didn't care of what I had to say. For them there was nothing worse than having a school dropout child, so thanks to that I'm here standing at the bus stop waiting for my transport to get to that suspicious academy. Man, I wonder if I'm not going to have problems for using those papers that weren't mine to get into this school. Sukune toughed to himself as he scratched the back of his head. I hope that I can fit in with the academic level over there. I mean, just look at how serious this uniform looks, and it must be a quite exclusive school only for special people, he thought as he frowned and rubbed his face with his hand. In any way someone looked at him, he looked like a weird loser. Suddenly a bus could be heard coming from the tunnel that was a few meters away. Well then, it seems that this is it. Well Sukune, you are going to see this trough to the end, he toughed as the school bus parked in front of him and the gate opened. As he stepped inside of the bus he noticed that a quite scary looking guy was driving the bus. Oh, so you are the other student enrolling at Yukai Academy, the bus driver said with an evil grin and a scary tone of voice as he looked at Sukune. Well yeah, I am, Sukune said with a scared tone of voice as he stared at the creepy looking guy. Very well then, in that case you must be prepared, cause Yukai Academy is a very horrifying school, the bus driver stated with a terrifying tone of voice as he took a puff from his cigar. Sukune was quite scared by what the creepy man just said. Why, a school would be horrifying anyway, so he decided to go and sit on the back instead of staying to ask him. When he turned his attention to the back of the bus he noticed that there was another boy at the back of the bus staring directly at him. Sukune was glad that at least this boy didn't look as creepy as the bus driver. Actually he looked quite normal. He was a young blonde boy with some red lashes on his hair and he got deep blue eyes. He must be from another country. I wonder if he is a student too. After all, he is not wearing a uniform, Sukune thought to himself. Naruto had been staring at the new boy from the moment he got on the bus and he could only say one thing about him: he is quite a scary cat. But I don't blame him, that man is indeed scary, he thought to himself as he watched that the boy was heading to the seats on the middle of the bus, so he decided to talk with him. Hey friend, don't mind too much what that creepy bus driver said. He seems to like to mess up with the newcomers of the academy, Naruto said with a wide smile on his face, but before smiling he retracted his fangs. Oh, I see, it's good to know that. Thank you, Sukune said, sounding a little scared. And what are you doing over there? Come and sit over here, let's have a little chat. After all, you are also coming for the first time to this school, aren't you? Naruto told him with a friendly tone of voice. Sukune nodded and went to sit over where Naruto was. This guy seems to be cool and friendly, maybe I can make my first friend at high school during the way to school, Sukune thought to himself. Well then, so first let's present us. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, the blonde said with a smile as he offered his right hand to Sukune. I'm Sukune Aono, it's a pleasure to meet you, he said with a smile too as he stretched hands with the blonde kid. So then that means that you are a newcomer to the academy too. I was wondering that since you are not wearing the uniform and it's the first day of classes and all, Sukune said in friendly way. Oh well, I'm not wearing it cause I was enrolled in the academy on the last moment, so I didn't got time to get one. I really hope that I can get one over there. Even thought I hate green, the blonde said in a carefree tone of voice. Yeah, you're right, the uniform, it's quite ugly, but anyway Naruto, I was wondering where are you from, because you know you kind of stand out with that blonde hair and blue eyes, Sukune asked him with a lot of interest. Damn, I can't tell him that I'm from a different dimensional realm. Well now, what was the cover I was supposed to use in case that someone asked me about my home place? The young blonde thought and started getting nervous. That's right, I'm from a little town in Europe. It's located on the northern part of Europe, so to tell you the truth, I'm not accustomed to big cities like the one in which you live, Naruto said, trying to sound as convincing as he could. Incredible, so you are European. To tell you the truth, you speak Japanese quite well even if you come from another country, Sukune said as he patted Naruto on the shoulder. So Sukune, what's up with you? Why are you going to the academy? Naruto asked in a friendly way. Well, to tell you the truth is a kind of embarrassing story, but I feel that I can trust you, so I'll tell you, but keep it as a secret. I'm not skilled on studying and I'm not very good on sports, so I couldn't find a high school that accepted me, but my father managed to get me in this academy. I'm not quite sure how, but he did it, and here I am on my way to an unknown place, the brown-haired guy stated. Nah, don't worry about it, and to tell you the truth, I also kind of suck in studies, especially on mathematics, but if you talk about sports or physical activities, I'm a pro on those, the young blonde said with a carefree voice and a little laugh at the end. Yeah, I can see that you are quite muscular, aren't you? Sukune said to him with a little of envy. Nah, nothing of that, I'm just in good shape, Naruto stated, and then he turned to look at Sukune. You know what, you're a kind of funny guy to chat with, so why don't we become friends, so in that way we don't have to stay alone on the first days at school. So what do you think, Sukune? Well, I think it's a great idea. I was about to ask you the same thing but couldn't find the words to do it. You know what, now I feel less scared than before. Probably this place won't be as scary as I thought, he said with a smile as he scratched the back of his head. They keep on chatting about different things until the bus driver turned to tell them with his creepy voice. Be prepared, as soon as we reach the end of this tunnel we will arrive to Yukai Academy. And after a few seconds the bus came out of the tunnel and parked. When Naruto and Sukune came down from the bus, they couldn't believe what their eyes were watching. The whole place looked like coming out of a horror movie. The sky was crimson red, there was a lot of dried trees, and skulls and tombstones could be seen on every direction. Well then, be careful kids, Yukai Academy is a dangerous place, the bus driver told them with a scary voice as he closed the bus door and drove back to the tunnel. No wait, this place looks like a graveyard, it must be a mistake, Sukune shouted to the bus driver as he disappeared into the tunnel. He was starting to panic. Calm down a little, Sukune, we're in the right place. Look at this, there's a sign here that reads Welcome to Yukai Academy, Naruto said in a relaxed tone of voice. Compared to Sukune, he was quite calm. Besides, it's true that this place may lack of a little of vegetation and a little color, but apart from that it's just a school, so nothing bad is going to happen, the blonde said in a friendly way, trying to make Sukune calm down. But Naruto, just look at this place, it's like a nightmare come true, and you are telling me that everything is alright? Seriously, then you will tell me that the building over there that looks like a haunted house is the school campus, Sukune said with a lot of fear on his voice as he pointed towards a building at the edge of the ocean. Naruto was about to speak, but another voice gave the answer to Sukune, and this startled Naruto because he didn't sense any other presence than the one from Sukune. I'm afraid you are right, young man, that old building over there is the school campus, and I don't see what's the problem with that. I believe that it's a cool place, but more importantly, which one of you is Naruto Uzumaki? The headmaster sent us to pick you up. He wants to have a word with you before you go to classes, a man that was wearing a black suit and sunglasses told them with a severe tone of voice as he appeared in front of Sukune. Sukune was scared from the sudden appearance of this gigantic man that looked like a private security ward, so he told the first thing that came to his mind. I didn't do anything. Naruto is the one over there, he said as he pointed towards where the blonde was standing, causing the big guy to turn his attention from him to where he pointed. Hey, how nice of you for revealing my identity, Naruto said with a sarcastic voice as he turned his gaze to the man in black suit. But he is right, I'm the one that you were looking for, but for God's sake, as if I had a place to run, I'm not going anywhere. Why did that old man had to send his guards to get me? I'm not his enemy, you know, he stated with anger on his voice. We know that you are not our enemy, but that doesn't mean that you are not dangerous, so the headmaster is just taking precautions. So could you accompany us by the good way and save us from unnecessary discussions, the tall man in black suit stated with a thick tone of voice as he started walking towards a road ahead. And what if I tell you that I don't want to go with you and that I want to walk by myself with my friend over there, Naruto stated with a cold tone of voice as he pointed at Sukune. The tall man in suit turned and chuckled a little before saying, that is something I can't allow to happen, kid, so will you come with me by the good way or by the bad way, the man stated with a dark tone of voice as he snapped his fingers, and suddenly other 6 black-suited guys appeared around Naruto. Sukune was watching at everything that was happening in front of his eyes, and he couldn't believe it. 6 men had appeared from who knows where and wanted to take Naruto to someplace because they said that he was dangerous, but how could that be truth when he was such a nice and cool guy? He could feel the tension was rising, so he armed himself with all his bravery and went to ask to the tall man who seemed to be the leader of the group. Hey old man, why don't you relax a little? He hasn't done anything wrong, so why are you harassing him and calling him dangerous? Let's just take a deep breath and talk this out. Sukune stated with a lot of decision on his voice, but Naruto could feel that he was panicking on the inside, and that's when he realized that if he fought with those idiots he would blow up his cover and probably Sukune wouldn't want to be his friend anymore, and he didn't know why, but just to think on that made him feel sad. Even if he had just met him, he felt quite attached to him, so Naruto decided to let it slide and go with those annoying guys. When one of the black-suited guys turned and started heading towards Sukune with killing intent coming out of him, which Sukune didn't seem to notice, Naruto spoke. "Okay guys, will come with you, I was just trying to mess with you all a little," he stated with a smile on his face, hoping that this would stop the other guy from going after Sukune, and thankfully it did. "Are you sure you are okay with that, Naruto?" Sukune asked him with a worried voice. "Yeah, don't worry about it. By the way, I'm sorry for failing to my promise of accompanying you. It seems that you will be alone for now. Hope that I see you later," he said with a sad look on his face as he waved to Sukune and started walking towards the school. But he and the black-suited guys stopped when they hear a girl voice screaming, "Og Kaya coming trough." She was heading towards them on a bicycle at an inhuman speed, and as expected Naruto and the guys in suit dodged her, but she crashed against Sukune and both of them were sent flying and then crashed into the ground. "Ouch, ah damn, did a bike just crashed into me?" Sukune mumbled as he tried to stand up, but suddenly he felt he was touching something soft and warm, so he lifted his face and noticed that he landed on the legs of someone. "Wow, she a girl and she is incredibly cute. Maybe it wasn't a bad idea to come here if this girl is here," he thought as he stared at the pink-haired girl with emerald-colored eyes that was in front of him. "Ouch, I'm really sorry, I got dizzy and my vision blurred because of my anemia. Are you okay or did I hurt you somewhere?" The girl spoke with a sweet voice as she looked at Sukune, and that was when he noticed that the soft and warm thing he felt with his hand was her tight. "Oh god, I accidentally touched her thigh," Sukune thought on a perverted way with a blush on his face as some blood fell from his nose as he removed his hand from her leg. "Oi, are you both alright? That was quite a hard hit," Naruto asked to the both of them as he went near them, followed by the guys in suit. As he looked at them closely, he noticed that the girl was incredibly cute and that she had started to approach Sukune in the moment he started to have a nosebleed. "Yeah, we all right, don't worry Naruto," Sukune said as he scratched the back of his head. "Oh no, is that blood?" the girl said with a worried voice as she pulled out a handkerchief, but as she got near Sukune to clean out the blood she started to blush and act in weird way as she mumbled, "Oh, the scent of blood, I'm sorry but I lose control when I smell it. I'm really sorry, but it's just because," she said with very sweet voice as she looked straight into Sukune's eyes. He was blushing and didn't know what to do or what was going on. "But it's because I'm a vampire," she finally said as she embraced him with her arms and bit him on the neck. Naruto couldn't do anything more than look away from that moment of intimacy between the girl and Sukune. "Well, I see you are doing quite well, so that means you are all right," the blonde boy said with a slight bush on the face, but then he suddenly felt someone pulling him from behind in a rash way. "Come on stupid kid, stop wasting time, the headmaster is waiting for you, we have to go now," the man who wanted to harm Sukune before told him with a quite angry and annoyed tone of voice as he pushed Naruto to make him walk. Okay, haven't I said before that I was coming with you? I just wanted to check that my friend was all right. Didn't you see the hit he received?" Naruto stated as he glared with hate towards the guy who pushed him. "Well Sukune, I have to go now, so I'll catch up with you later," he said with a friendly tone as he turned to wave at him, but he was pushed again by the same guy. "Come on, cut this bullshit already, we don't have your time, runt," the black-suited guy said as he glared with hate at Naruto. "And you two over there, hurry up and get to the school, the opening ceremony is about to start." This time he shouted to Sukune and the pink-haired girl with a lot of hatred too, and then he started to walk towards the school. "You have one hell of an attitude, don't you? But let me warn you of something, motherfucker, I'm coming with you just to avoid problems, but touch one more time and you will regret it for your whole life," Naruto warned him with a cold tone of voice that brought the chills out of all the black-suited guys, and with that all of them including Naruto started dashing towards the school. "Sure, you better keep your manners with him, he is quite dangerous, so please for your own safety stop acting like that," the leader of the black-suited guys told to the guy who had been pushing and yelling to Naruto as he pointed towards the blonde kid. "Why would I be afraid of a stupid kid like him? I mean, what's so special about him? It's almost as if he was human," the black-suited man known as Shura thought as he followed them. Sukune was still in shock for everything that had just happened. Let's see, I was talking to those guys and to Naruto when something crashed against, then I realized that it was a cute pink-haired girl, then I touched her thigh accidentally and then she started acting so weird when she saw the blood falling from my nose and then Sukune thought, trying to understand what just happened when he heard the sweet voice of the pink-haired girl asking him something. Was that blonde guy your friend? He seemed to be quite scary just now, but anyway, thanks for treat, your blood was so yummy, she said with a friendly voice as she blushed a little and hugged herself when she said the last part. Sukune was still acting in a robotic way as he answered, yeah, and I don't think he is scary, he is a quite nice, a cool guy, and about my blood. And that was when he realized what had just happened, that pink-haired girl bit him just a moment ago and drank from his blood as she stated that she was a vampire, so he started to panic. Gya, a vampire, my blood has been sucked out of nowhere, I had my blood sucked. Sukune screamed in panic as he ran from one side to another as he put his hand on the place where the girl had bitten him. I'm so sorry, my name is Mocha Akashiya, and although I look like this, I'm a vampire, so when I smell blood I can't hold myself back, the girl apologized with a concerned voice. What, a vampire? You mean one of those blood-sucking monsters that are afraid of crosses and garlic? Sukune was freaking out now as he stared at this weird girl who claimed to be a creature that didn't exist. Yup, you're right with the thing about the garlic, but we are not afraid of crosses. Actually, I'm wearing a rosary, as you can see, Mocha said with a casual tone of voice, but she suddenly changed her mood to a gloomy one as she said with a sad tone of voice, but why do you seem so startled? Could it be that you were one of those vampire haters? When Sukune saw that the girl was getting sad, he said the first thing that came to his mind in order to cheer her up. Of course not, it's just that I'm not used to get my blood sucked, you know, but I don't have any problem with vampires, and he gave her a friendly smile. Really, I'm so glad, so if you don't mind we could become friends. I have been quite sad since I don't know anyone around here, Mocha said with a sweet voice and a shy smile on her face as she stared directly at Sukune. God, she looks so cute, how someone could deny something to her, Sukune thought to himself as he gave her a little laugh. I will be glad of being your friend, by the way, my name is Sukune Aono, he told her as he rubbed the back of his head and smiled warmly. Really, thank you so much, Mocha stated with a lot of joy as she hugged Sukune. By the way, Sukune, that blonde boy from before, you said he was your friend, but he seemed to be in problems. What happened? Oh, you mean Naruto? I don't have any idea. As soon as we get to the school, those weird guys appeared and said that the headmaster was looking for him. He seemed to know the reason of that, but he didn't told me. I just hope that it's nothing serious because he is a very cool guy and all, Sukune said with a concerned voice. So his name is Naruto. It a little rare but cute name anyway. You will see that everything is going to be all right, and after that I hope that I can meet him too, Mocha said with a smile. Yeah, his name is kind of rare, but as I told you, he is a great guy and I'm quite sure he will be glad of being your friend too. But anyway, Mocha-san, let's get going. The opening ceremony is about to start, Sukune told her with a smile on his face. Yeah, right, but after the ceremony let's talk a little more. All right, Mocha said with a friendly tone of voice as she grabbed him by the arm and started pulling him towards the school. I really hope that the thing about her being a vampire is a joke, Sukune thought as he followed her. Meanwhile, at the administrative building of the school, Naruto was walking with the guys in black suits along a long hallway towards a pair of big golden doors that had the inscription, Headmaster. At the top of them, Naruto was quite amazed of the incredible aura that could be felt on that building. It was similar to the one that could be felt on the barrier control room at Konoha, so probably it was caused by a barrier that was being generated from somewhere at that building. When they finally reached the golden doors, the leader of the guys in black suit knocked on the door and then announced, "Sir, we have brought the kid with us." After a little moment, a creepy voice could be heard from inside the office. "Okay, let him in and then you can go, and I mean all of you, this is a private matter." "As you say, sir, don't you heard him, kid, get in," the man responded. "What, we are being dismissed after we brought this demonic scum here? I mean, I really wanted to see how the exorcist tore him apart," the guy known as Shira shouted in rage as he grabbed Naruto from the back on a quite harsh way. "That's it, this is all I can tolerate from you, little bastard. Don't say that I didn't warn you," Naruto said with a dark tone of voice, and in a fraction of a second his right eyes, that was usually of a deep blue color, became crimson red and with a slit pupil as he suddenly turned and shoot a small ball made of a fraction of his pitch black demonic against the man called Shira, which caused a terrible explosion in front of him that sent him flying against a wall as dark flames started to burn his right arm and the right part of his face. The only thing that could be heard were his screams of agony. Og, you demon scum, you are going to pay for this as soon as, Oj, he was yelling but was cut short by the dark flames that started growing until they covered his whole arm, which caused him to scream by the cause of the terrible pain he was feeling. You stupid little Yukai, don't you understand that? You are like trash in front of me, you can't even resist a little of my demonic fire. I really hate the people that think that they can mistreat others just because they are different. Be glad that this is just a little lesson for you to understand how little you are, because if I wanted I could make those flames grow until they consume you completely, Naruto stated, but this time he looked like a real demon. He was surrounded completely by a pitch-black chakra that was shaped in the form of tails. Behind him there were 4 of them. He had long fangs that formed an evil grin. His irises became of a pitch-black color and the tone of his voice sounded quite diabolic. As he was approaching to the man that was being engulfed by dark flames, a voice called him to stop immediately. That is just enough for a lesson, Naruto. Stop this nonsense right now. A man wearing a white robe shouted with authority on his voice as he came out of the headmaster office as he pulled out a golden rosary from his robe. You are no fun, old man, but you know that he deserved this. You shouldn't had told them what I am. He has been treating me like trash from the moment he saw me, and he even dared to call me demon scum. You don't have any idea of how I hate to be called like that, but it's all right, I understand, Naruto said, this time with a more calmed voice, but he still had the demonic tone as he sealed away his demonic form, making the flames disappear from Shira's body. Now you will see, stupid kid, the exorcist is here and he will make you pay ff for what you did to me, the now scorched Shira stated with an evil grin on his face. Oh, you are quite wrong. If I'm going to take care of someone, it will be you. I asked you all to bring him here but not to treat him as you did. I've been watching you all trough my crystal ball, and as the way I see things, you got this coming and you deserved it. Shira, now could you all take him away from my realm? I don't want to see his face again, the exorcist stated with authority on his voice as he gave the order to take him away to the other guards. But Exorcist Sama, how can you side up with a demon? Hear me well, I will take revenge of this demon scum, he yelled before he was taken away by the other guards. So now, kid, will you accompany me to my office, and I apologize for the mistreatment, the exorcist said with his creepy voice. Yeah, right, and thanks for supporting me, old man. Naruto thanked him with a smile, and with his normal tone of voice he looked completely normal again, and then they both got inside the office. So kid, it's been quite a while since the last time I saw you, and I can see that you have gotten a certain level of control of your demonic powers, the white-robed man with glowing eyes said as he sat down on his chair and pointed Naruto to sit on the chair in front of his desk. Yeah, it's been quite a while, old man, and about my powers, it's true that now I have a better control over them, but to tell you the truth, I'm always afraid of using them, and there are still times that they just pop up when I lose my temper, just like a moment ago. That's why Jiraiya-sensei trained me and taught a lot of techniques and jutsu so that I didn't have to depend on them, Naruto stated with a serious tone as he sat on the chair in front of the old man. Little Jiraiya made a very wise decision, if you ask me. After all, you first need to be very strong physically and mentally before trying to control your demon powers completely, cause as you know they come from bad emotions like hate, so if you are not strong enough they can take over you, but I'm afraid that you know that very well, don't you? The headmaster stated with an evil grin on his face as he looked straight into Naruto's eyes. What do you mean, old man, that I really know what it's like to be taken over by the demonic powers? As long as I remember, I never. Naruto was yelling at the headmaster, but he was interrupted. Calm down, kid, and stop playing dumb with me. I was informed of what happened 3 years ago on that mission, in which you tried to bring back your friend to your village, and I'm quite sure that the info of why he died was wrong. You may have been able of deceiving them, but I'm a totally different story. So why do you keep denying that hatred and pain took over you and dimmed your mind, which caused that your powers went out of control? And even if it was just for a second, it was enough to, the exorcist was saying with a severe and accusing tone of voice, but was stopped by Naruto's reaction. Naruto punched the desk in front of him with all his strength as he stood up. Shut the hell up, old man. I never denied anything. I am conscious of what I did on that day, and there hasn't been a single day in which I don't feel sorry for what happened because of my powers, so don't ever dare to say that I denied my responsibility. I know that it was I who killed my best friend, and I will have to bear with it for the rest of my existence. Probably the information that they sent you was the cover-up made for protecting me, Naruto stated with an angry voice as he sent death glares to the headmaster. I see, so you are capable of getting angry without letting out your powers. In that case I approve your stay here. You pass the prove, but anyway I don't want any incidents like the one with your friend happening on my academy, so I will put some conditions for your time here, the headmaster stated with an evil grin on his face. Thought. Damn it, old man, you really are an expert on making people angry. I mean, you are telling me that you were just messing up with me to see if I was capable of controlling my powers when I'm angry, and then you tell me that you want to put conditions for my stay here when I didn't even ask to come here. What the hell is wrong with you? Naruto yelled to the headmaster with an annoyed tone of voice. You were right, kid, and you will have to accept it since it was decided that if you didn't graduate from this academy and prove to be stable enough to live with other persons, you were going to be sealed completely and for an undetermined period of time. But come on, think on the positive things here. At least you can act more naturally than when you were with the humans, because Yukais are more like you, and who knows, maybe here you will be able to find true happiness. So what do you say? Do you take the opportunity, or am I going to have to seal you? The exorcist stated with his natural and creepy tone of voice as he showed his rosary to the blonde kid when he said the last thing. Yeah, they are more like me, but I still being different to them, something more evil and more dangerous, and I can bet that if they find out what I am, it will be the same as with the humans. So I don't really think that I will be able of finding happiness here, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to give it a try. So tell me your conditions, old man, Naruto stated with a serious tone of voice and a bitter smile on his face. Look, kid, I know that you are different from us, but being different doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be happy. So for my first condition, I want that you try as hard as you can to make good friends, and also to try to enjoy your time here is my second condition. You have strictly prohibited to use your demonic powers. If I don't give you permission, so you will have to rely only on your shinobi techniques. Third condition is that you need to keep in secret what you really are and where are you from, cause you have already seen how some people could react to that. Fourth condition is that you will have to keep training physically and mentally in your first year at school in order to get prepared for the training you will be taking on the next year, in which we will teach you to control your demonic powers. And finally, my last condition is that you will be helping me with the enforcement of the law and justice on this academy. So what do you think? Not so bad, huh? The headmaster stated with a friendly but creepy tone of voice as he stared at the blonde kid waiting for his reaction. Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but I will only accept with two conditions, the blonde kid stated with an evil grin on his face. Oh well then, tell me you conditions. After all, I didn't expect it, a free deal from a demon, the exorcist said as he chuckled evilly. How funny, old man, but anyway, my first condition is that you let me wear a uniform with my own style, cause to tell you the truth, the actual uniform sucks, and my second condition is that you provide me with free ramen at any time that I ask for it, Naruto stated with an evil grin on his face. Well then, it's a deal, kid. You can wear whatever you want as long as it have the school shield and no bandanas. And about the ramen, it's okay too. To tell you the truth, I expected more. I almost forgot you will also be assisting to all classes as a normal student, and I accept good scores from you, mister, the headmaster stated with an even bigger evil grin. Aw really, but I really suck at studies and you call me demon, old man, when you are more evil than me, the blonde stated as he frowned. Well then, it's settled. You will be assisting to the class of Shizuka Nekoman. I will have one of my guards to take you there in an hour so you can use the time of the opening ceremony to get changed. There's a uniform over there so you can use your transformation techniques on it to put your style on it, and here, take this, it's the key for your room. I made it specially for you since you have special conditions like your don't have to sleep problem, and it's bigger than the other rooms, and it's located on the roof of the boys' dormitories so that you don't disturb anyone if you decide to go out at night, the headmaster explained to Naruto as he handed him the key for his room and then pointed towards a package that was placed on a chair. Well then, kid, it was nice talking to you, but I have to go now. I need to give a speech at the opening ceremony. You can get changed here, so until we meet again, and with that said the white-robed man left the room. Naruto stared at the uniform inside the box and smiled. Well then, time to put some style on this thing, he thought as he started making some hand seals. Well then, at least this time I won't start alone, since you two have a lot of reasons to be afraid of being rejected, don't you, Sukune? I really hope that we can become good friends, he thought as he looked at his creation and smiled. 1 hour later at classroom 163, Sukune was sitting in one of the desks at the classroom thinking about the things that happened on the morning. I'm sorry, but it's just that I'm a vampire. Did she really mean it, or was it a joke? But she really drank from my blood. God, what is happening on this place? Sukune thought. As he started to look at the other students, and he noticed that some of them looked quite weird, nearly not human. There was even one who had a head similar to the one of a fish. This place is too weird, man. I really hope that Naruto is in this classroom. At least he is a cool guy and he looks normal. Sukune thought as he leaned over his desk. But I wonder why those black-suited guys said he was dangerous when he looked quite friendly, he thought, when suddenly the classroom opened and a woman that looked like if she had cat ears walked into the classroom. Good morning everyone, it's nice to see that we got so many new students this year because that means you can do a lot of friends, she said in a quite enthusiastic tone, and then she turned to write her name on the blackboard. My name is Shizuka Nekoman and I will be your homeroom teacher. I really hope we can get along, she said with a happy tone of voice and a wide smile on her face. At least someone who looks friendly, but seriously what a weird hairstyle she has, Sukune tough as he put attention in what her homeroom teacher was saying. Well, as all of you know, Yukai Academy is a school made only for monsters because, as you know, our world is currently under the control of humanity, so in order to survive we monsters have to learn how to coexist with humans, and that is what you will be studying on the next 3 years, Nekoman sensei said as she made some drawings on the blackboard to explain the situation of the world. So that is why it's a school rule that you need to stay in your human form so you can learn how to disguise as a real human, and because of that you are not allowed to show your true form to any of your fellow students. Fought a school for monsters? No way, that must be a joke, right? But it's a fact that Mocha said she was a vampire. What the hell is going on? Sukune thought in panic, and he started to look in different direction to say anyone found it wired to, but everyone was very calm. Damn, don't tell me all of them are monsters, please God help me, Tuskun thought with panic on his eyes, but he was startled by someone who started to laugh, so he turned to see that it was a tall man with long hair and an unfriendly gaze. Why the hell do we have to respect humans? I mean, we are stronger, we could just eat them all, and if there are hot girls we could have some fun with them, if you know what I mean, he said while laughing evilly. Oh, incidentally, here at Yukai Academy the teachers and the students are all monsters, so there are no humans here, Nekoman sensei said with the same friendly tone of voice, but she turned a little serious. Since this academy is something like a secret sacred world for monster, if any human came to know of our existence we would have to bring him dead or something. Sukune started to pale as he heard her words. Damn it, if they found about my true form I will be killed. I don't want to die yet, I have to get out of here as soon as possible, he thought as he slammed his head on his desk, but suddenly he heard the classroom door opening, so he raised his head to look who was entering to the classroom, and he was surprised. Sorry I'm late, but I got lost after the opening ceremony. This school is quite big, a pink-haired girl said with a friendly and calm tone of voice as she entered the classroom. Oh, it's okay, don't worry, just go on and take a sit, Nekoman sensei said with a smile on her face. Incredible, what a cute one, she thought as she continued with the introductory lesson. When every guy on the classroom got a look at the new chick, all of them were startled by the incredibly beautiful girl that was on their class. Things like, she's hot, what a cute face, I want to go out with her, were heard all over the classroom. The only thing that Sukune could do was stare at the incredibly cute girl that he met on the morning, and just when she was passing by his sit he managed to mumble with fear. Mocha, is it really you? The pink-haired girl stopped on her tracks and turned to see who was calling her, and when she realized who was the one who called her she jumped and hugged him as she said, Incredible Sukune, we are on the same classroom, I'm so happy. What Mocha did made that every guy on the classroom stare with hate towards Sukune, but there was someone that was staring with more than hate, and it was Seizu Komiya. Meanwhile Naruto and the same old man that firstly appeared to pick him up at the bus stop were walking along the corridors of the school. Naruto was wearing an orange shirt. It had the Yukai Academy shield in one of the sides of the front part, and in center of the back part it had the Konoha shield printed in black, and under the shirt he was wearing a black t-shirt and he had his green crystal pendant hanging out of his t-shirt. He was also wearing a pair of black jeans and a pair of black slippers with an orange stripe in the middle. His hair also looked longer now that he had removed his bandana with the Leaf Village symbol. Hey kid, your classroom, it's not too far away now, so I want to apologize for what happened on the morning. Shiro was acting like a real idiot just because you were different, and I believe that was quite stupid. I think that no one has the right to judge other people because of what they are, so I'm sorry, and I mean it, the old man said as he stopped walking and turned to look at Naruto. Don't worry old man, believe it or not I'm capable of knowing when someone really hates me, and I don't sense that in you, so I forgive you. But anyway, you speak like if you knew. How does it feel to be discriminated by other people? Naruto said with a friendly tone of voice. Yeah, you are right. I know. How does it feel? Because I'm a mage, and even between yukais we are like the less important race because they consider us more like humans, so most of the monster races hate us, the old man stated with a sad but friendly tone. So even this world has that kind of problems, man. It's incredible how stupid people can act when they found someone that is different to them, Naruto said with sad tone of voice. Yeah, you are right, kid, but anyway, we are here, classroom 163. It seems they are already giving the introductory lesson, so I will have to ask your teacher to let you in, the old man said as he stopped in front of the classroom door. But first, kid, I owe you one for what happened today, so if you ever need help with something, just look out for me at the administrative building. My name Raiden, the old man said in a friendly tone as he extended his right hand. The name is Naruto, and it's good to know that you are a good guy after all, Raiden, and thanks anyway, Naruto said as he shook hands with the older man. After that, they knocked at the classroom door. By the way, put this shield somewhere. It's the proof that you are under direct order of the headmaster from here on, and it's also what will allow you to wear those clothes without having to explain to anyone why you are allowed and they are not, Raiden said as he handed a little metal shield attached to a piece of cloth to Naruto. Okay, but didn't the old man said that no bandanas or things hanging from my head, and besides, is this shield from some kind of organization or something? Naruto asked with a lot of curiosity. Well, it's from the Academy Security Commission. The headmaster enroll you in it, but I don't know, the old man was saying, but was interrupted by Nekoman-sensei, who opened the classroom door. Can I help you too with something? By the way, sorry it took me so long to open the door, but I was finishing an explanation about the school system of education, Nekoman-sensei said with a smile. Yeah, well, Shizuka Nekoman, I'm here to let you know that this young man here will be assisting to your classes from here on, Raiden said as he pointed to Naruto, who gave her a smile in response. But I thought that my group was already complete. Is he a last hour applicant for the school? Nekoman-sensei asked with an innocent look on her face. Well, one could say that, sensei, but he was brought here by the headmaster because he wants his help with some issues, but as you see, meanwhile he will be studying here too, so I want you acknowledge you that there may be time in which we take him out of class, and that is also why he is wearing those clothes and that shield on his shoulder, Raiden said as he pointed towards Naruto's left arm so that she could see the shield of the security personnel of the school. Nekoman turned to look directly at Naruto with a lot of interest. Why would the headmaster need the help from this child? She thought as she stared directly at Naruto's eyes. Well then, in that case there is no problem. So what is your name, young man, so I can put you in the list? Nekoman-sensei said with a friendly look on her face. Naruto was lost in his thought because of this young and cheerful teacher who was staring directly at him with a lot of interest. What a cute and friendly teacher, and are those cat ears? They suit her a lot. I'm really happy that someone like her is going to be my teacher. I had to thank that old man. The next time I see him he is not as evil as he looks in the end, Naruto was thinking, but his thoughts were cut by the voice of Nekoman-sensei. Sorry, I was kind of lost in my thoughts. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and it's a pleasure to meet you, sensei. I really hope that we can get along during my time here, Naruto said as he gave her his typical wide friendly smile. Naruto, what an interesting name you have, and it's nice to meet you too, so why don't you go inside so we can present you to the class, she said, and she bowed to say goodbye to the old man who brought Naruto, and then she started to walk back inside. He seems to be a kind and friendly young boy, and he is also kind of cute too with those beautiful deep blue eyes. It seems that this class will be quite cheerful this year, she thought, and then smiled. Sukune was panicking again, but not for the same reason. This time was because every guy on the classroom was staring at him with hate because he was hugged by Mocha, but when he noticed the guy that entered to the classroom with Nekoman-sensei, he got a little happier. Not only Mocha was here but also his new friend. Great, Naruto is here too, but I wonder if this school is for monsters. Could it be that he is monster too? Oh god, what am I going to do now? He thought, and then his mood started to get gloomier. Nekoman-sensei walked to the front of the class with Naruto behind of her, and then she turned to face the class. Well everyone, I want to tell you all that we have a new student for the class. He was just transferred here, so treat him well, okay? So would you like to tell your name to the whole group? She asked to Naruto with a friendly tone. Naruto nodded and turned to face the group. He wasn't accustomed to speak in public, especially because in the past when he got near any crowd all the people would scatter and go away, but not before yelling at him horrible things, so it took him some time to talk. Well then, they are not yelling at me, so it should be fine. After all, they don't know what I am, he told, and he started speaking. The name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I really hope that we can get along and who knows, maybe become friends. Naruto stated with a lot of security in his voice, and that he gave a foxy smile to the whole group as he scratched the back of his head with one of his hands. Immediately the reaction from the classroom was heard and seen. Some girl were whispering things like, "Look at his eyes, they are so beautiful. He is quite cute with that long blonde hair with red lashes. This guy really know how to make a horrible color look hot." But from the e-boy's side he got things like, "What a clown, who those he think he is. Damn, we don't need a guy like him here. I hate this kind of fresh and cool bastards." Naruto just gave a little laugh to the things that he heard. He didn't put attention to any of them because he was just happy to know that they didn't fear him, but he was also sure that all of this was just like a time bomb, and in the moment they knew what he was, everyone would reject him as it happened in the past. Well, at least I can give a try to this place, who knows, it may go well, he thought. And that's when he noticed that Sukune was sitting on the back part of the classroom, and that girl who said she was a vampire was there, so he decided to say hi. "You Sukune, it seems that we are going to be classmates too, huh?" the blonde said as he waved towards Sukune while smiling. It seems that he had already realized the truth of this school. "Poor guy, the first will talk with him after class," he told as he turned to look at Nekoman sensei. "So sensei, where do I sit, or do I have to stand the whole class for arriving late?" he asked her with a joking tone of voice while he made a puppy face. "Oh sorry, you can sit over there next to Shirayuki-san, but don't go giving me ideas, cause next time I may use them, young man," Nekoman sensei said with the same joking tone of voice as she pointed towards the left back corner of the classroom. "Roger that, sensei, ill goes there then," he said with an enthusiastic voice similar to the one the Nekoman used to talk, and a smile on his face, and that he started to walk towards the empty desk. Nekoman sensei watched him walk towards the empty sit as she thought, in the end having an extra student was great, I really liked that kid, and then she started the lesson once again. "Damn, this school is full of idiots, but this guy must be the king of all of them. Even that stupid teacher who believes that humans deserve our respect likes him. If it was up to me, I would crush anyone who thinks in that way," Seizu thought as he looked at Naruto with hatred on his eyes. "But anyway, right now I have something much more interesting to do," he thought as he turned to look at Mocha with an evil smile on his face. "Hey Sukune, isn't he your friend from this morning? He looks a lot friendlier than before," Mocha asked to Sukune as she poked him on the back. "So his name's is Naruto. It's a funny name, don't you think?" "Yeah, to be called like a ramen ingredient is funny, but Mocha, I already told you he quite a nice guy. Look, I will present you both as soon as I can, so you can see it by yourself," he said to Mocha with a calm expression. "But what would I do if he is a monster too?" Sukune thought with a distant look. "Okay, I'm looking forward to it," Mocha said with a little doubt on her voice. She remembered the scary feeling that she felt when Sukune's friend got angry with the suited guys, so she was scared that he could be a vampire hater and act like that towards her. "I have to think more about meeting him." Meanwhile, Naruto was trying his best to listen to the lecture, but he already knew everything about humans and monsters of this world thanks to Jiraiya, so he started to look around his sit, and that when he noticed the girl sitting beside him, she had long light purple hair, a skin as white as snow, and light blue eyes. She also had a lollipop in her mouth. She isn't wearing the uniform too, and Sukune already has a girl as a friend. Well then, let's try it. After all, it's one of the conditions of the old man to make friends, he thought as he turned to talk to her. "You know, it's great to see that I got companions who dislike the school uniform too," Naruto said with a friendly smile on his face. The purple-haired girl turned to look at the new boy who was talking to her, but she was unsure of how to respond to his statement, so she just said, "The blazer is green and I hate green. It's a very sad color, and I really love purple. It's much better," she said in a low tone of voice. She seemed to be quite timid. "Hey, I think so too. Green is bad. To tell you the truth, I prefer colors that stand out like orange, you see," Naruto said with a friendly tone as he made a proud look and then waved a part of his shirt to show her. She smiled a little because of the funny face that Naruto made, and also because of the obvious fact that he loved orange. Orange, it's a color that I don't hate, but I don't see myself wearing something of that color," she said with a thoughtful look in her face. "Hey, are you saying that I use horrible clothing or something? That's quite mean," Naruto said in a joking tone as he made an exaggerated sad face. The purple-haired girl thought that she had offended him for real. "Okay, Mizor, for thing like this one you will always be alone. Someone is trying to be friendly with you and the first thing that you do is offend him. How stupid you are." She started to get sad, and in panic she tried to explain to the blonde kid, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I think that orange really suits you. Forgive me, you should think that I'm a horrible person. I would understand if you don't want to talk with me ever again, she said with a terribly depressed tone, and then she lowered her head. Naruto was impressed by her reaction. He was just joking, so he decided to do something to calm her down. He stood up and walked to her side, and he put a hand on her shoulder trying to remember her name. How did the teacher called her? Right, he thought to himself. Hey Shirayuki-san, calm down, I was just joking, I wasn't offended or anything, actually I was trying to make you smile like before, and even if I was offended I wouldn't stop talking to you. I mean, just an idiot would do that, so cheer up, will you? Naruto said with a comforting tone of voice as he patted her shoulder. The purple-haired girl lifted her face to look at Naruto. So you aren't angry with me and you don't hate me, she said with doubt in her voice. Of course not, so come on, cheer up, come on, give me a smile, will you? After all, it's sad to see a cute girl like you sank into depression. Come on, you know you want it, Komi on, Naruto said in a friendly tone as he started doing weird faces to make her laugh. And in the end it worked. Mizore started to laugh thanks to Naruto's persistence. Okay, I believe you, no one who tried this hard to make me laugh would hate me. And then she noticed that the whole class was looking at her and Naruto and things like, who is she to get the new boy attention? I'm cuter than her, why is he interested on her? Damn it, why is he interested in that weird stalker girl? Nearly every girl on the classroom except for Mocha was glaring at her with hatred. Hey, I think that you should go back to your sit. Uzumaki-san, is there a problem between Shirayuki-san and you? Cause if you want you both can go outside so I can continue with the lecture, Nekoman-sensei told him with a severe tone of voice. Sorry for the interruption, sensei, I'll just go to my desk and you can continue, Naruto said as he bowed to apologize, and then he returned to his desk. After some time Mizore turned to look at Naruto again and then asked with curiosity, by the way, how do you know my last name? Oh, it's your last name, I thought I was your name. Oh, and I know it because Nekoman-sensei told me to go to sit beside Shirayuki-san, so I assumed it was your name. But anyway, what is your real name then, or you want to keep it as a secret from me? Naruto said as he looked at her with a suspicious look. Of course not, I'm Mizore Shirayuki, nice to meet you by the way, she said as she gave him a friendly smile. Mizore Shirayuki, I'm the lullaby of the snow, what a nice name, it suits you a lot by way I'm, Naruto was happily saying, but he was interrupted by Mizore. Naruto Uzumaki, don't you remember you told your name to the whole class? I already knew it, and thanks for the compliment about my name, yours as well, Mizore was saying with a friendly tone, but when she realized the meaning of his name she didn't know how to say it without sounding harsh. Funny isn't it? I mean, to be called whirlpools of fishcake is quite weird, but I love the name because my godfather was the one who gave me that name. Naruto finished what Mizore was saying and then gave her a smile. Yeah, it's funny, but I think it sounds great, really, Mizore said, sounding serious so he would believe it. Thanks, so Mizore, now that we know us a little more, would you like to be my friend? I really enjoyed talking with you, Naruto asked her with an embarrassed tone of voice. I don't know, I want to befriend with a whirlpool of fishcake, it may smell bad, she said in a joking tone of voice. Hey, that's not nice, I don't smell bad, you know, Naruto responded, also joking. Well, in that case it will be nice to be your friend, Naruto, she said while laughing. And after that the day went on normally and the classes came to an end. Now I have to take Sukune with me to explore the school, Mocha thought to her, slake a look as she held one of Sukune's arms and started to drag him outside the classroom. Come on Sukune, let go, take a look around the campus, she said in sweet tone and a shy smile on her face. Okay, but we could wait for Naruto and ask him to come with us, Sukune said as he tried to stop, but Mocha was stronger than what he thought. Come on Sukune, didn't you see he was getting along quite well with that purple-haired girl? He will be fine, we can meet up with him later, Mocha said with a friendly voice. Yeah, you are right, well then let's go, Sukune said while smiling. Maybe this place is not that bad if I can be with Mocha, but she really is a vampire and I could be killed if someone finds out my true form, Sukune thought as he was dragged by Mocha. Naruto was about to get up and go talk with his friend when he watched how he was being dragged by her new friend, so he sighed and then turned to see if Mizore was still there. To his luck she was hidden behind a locker staring at him with interest, which he found a little weird. Hey Mizore, why are you hiding over there? Naruto asked her as he started to walk towards her, which seemed to surprise her. Well, anyway, would you like to join me and go eat something at the cafeteria? I'm starving, he asked her with a smile on his face. Mizore was unsure of going with him. After all, most people considered her weird and preferred to stay away from her, so she was uneasy and she started to back away, trying to find somewhere to hide herself. Come on Mizore, you were chatting with me just a moment ago and now you are acting quiet funny. Someone would think that you are afraid of me or something, Naruto said as he reached for her arm and started to pull her towards him. Even thought that there's really a reason to fear me, how ironic, Naruto thought to himself. Come on, let's chat a little more while we have a nice meal. I promise I won't bite you, the blonde kid said, trying to joke with her, and then he dragged her out of the classroom with him, and as a consequence of this every girl left in the classroom was in an awe state. They couldn't believe that the new hot guy was interested in the weird stalker girl. Naruto was walking along the hallway dragging Mizore along with him, but she stopped suddenly and then she looked directly into Naruto's eyes and then said, "How can you stand that everybody is looking at us wherever we go as if they were surprised and even amazed of the fact that you are with me? Naruto, don't you realize that everybody here thinks that I'm weird and can't stand the fact that you pass time with me? I can't bear it anymore," she said, sounding angry and annoyed. So that was the thing that was bugging you, Mizore-chan. I am glad that it was just that. For a moment I thought that you disliked me or something, Naruto said with a friendly voice, and then he walked to her side and then he passed his arm around Mizore's shoulders while he said, "Look, just let everything that they say go to hell. I mean, if I'm with you now it's because I think that you are cool and not weird, so don't pay attention to them, Mizore-chan, and if anyone tries to do something to you because we are friends, you just tell me and I will kick their butt. I'm your friend now and no one messes with my friends without getting hurt, so come on, let's get something to eat. I'm starving," Naruto said to her with a warm tone of voice, and then he gave her a friendly smile. "Okay, let's go, but Naruto, but just one thing, if someone messes with us you won't be the only one kicking their butts, I will help you too," Mizore said with an enthusiastic tone. She didn't know what, but something about her new blonde friend made her feel more sure about herself. "Right on, that the spirit I want to see," Naruto said with a smile, and then the both of them walked toward the cafeteria without caring about the stares that everyone was sending them. When they reached the door to the cafeteria, a bunch of people started to go inside of the building, and that caused panic on Mizore, so she separated from Naruto and went to hide herself inside of an empty trash can that was near them. Naruto didn't notice she disappeared, so when the crowd disappeared he didn't know what happened to Mizore. Shiju had disappeared. "Well then, you won't get away from me, little miss. I want a partner to chat with, but for real you have a being shy problem, even worse than Hinata, but you can't be far, so I will find you," the blonde kid thought to himself as he started to concentrate to look for Mizore's presence, and after a few seconds he walked towards a trash can that was 7 meters away from where he was, and then he lifted the lid as he said, sounding a little annoyed, "For real Mizore, you really have a problem with crowded places, don't you?" Mizore was surprised because Naruto was able to find her so quickly. After all, if she was good in something it was in hiding herself and sneaking into places without being noticed, so she lifted her face to look at him with surprise in her face. "How did you find me so fast? Nearly no one is capable of finding me when I hide." "Well my dear friend, that is because I'm Naruto was telling her, but he remembered a little detail he had to keep in secret, everything about his origins, and that included that he was a ninja. "Because you are what, Naruto?" she asked his with a lot of curiosity as she get out of the trash can. "Well, because I am incredibly good at playing hide and seek, he," the blonde said, sounding a little nervous as he laughed and scratched the back of his head with his hand. Mizore sent him a suspicious look as she took her lollipop out of her mouth and started spinning it in the air as she said, Is that really the reason you sound nervous? It's indeed suspicions, you know." "No, that's the real reason. Why would I lie to you, Mizore-chan?" he said, sounding nervous again, so he started to think in a way to change the subject. "But anyway Mizore, if you don't like crowded places I could go and buy something for the both of us and then we could go somewhere more peaceful to eat. What do you think?" he said in a friendly tone. Mizore looked at him, still thinking that it was suspicious that he stopped talking when he was about to say something, but she decided to let it pass. After all, he was being very friendly with her and that was something that rarely happened to her. "Okay, could you buy me a melon bread and some ice cream if they haven't? Thanks for being considerate with me," she responded while smiling. "Okay, wait here for me, I'll be back in a moment, and please don't make me search for you again, okay?" Naruto said happily as he ran inside the cafeteria. Mizore stood there watching him go inside the cafeteria with a smile in her face. She didn't know why, but something about Naruto made her feel happy. It was like his enthusiasm was contagious or something. Maybe this place won't be as horrible as I thought it would be if I can hang around more with this new friend of mine, she thought as she leaned against the wall to wait for him. An hour later both of them were eating at the roof of the school and it seemed that none came to that place because it was deserted. So Naruto, I've been thinking and something that has been bugging me is why did you wanted me as your friend? You didn't knew me and I'm not as everyone else. I'm not like the other girls who are cheerful and social. I don't smile a lot, and to tell you the truth there has been times that even I have come to think that there's something wrong with me. So why? Mizore asked Naruto with a sad tone of voice and bitter smile on her face. Naruto could notice that her problem was much more different than a shy attitude. She actually felt strange, different to everyone else when she wasn't. It was a little ironic. He was the one that was completely different to everyone else, and still he felt the necessity to comfort her cause he knew very well what it was like to be rejected by everyone else. He knew how horrible it felt to be alone. Hey Mizore, first you may be different from everyone else, but that's not bad actually from my point of view. That's what makes you special, and to tell you the truth that was also what got my attention. You seem to be different to that bunch of noisy girls from our classroom. How can I say it? You seem to be more authentic and that make you look interesting to hang out with, and it is actually so. If you think that you are weird, I'm even weirder cause I really like you as my friend, so come on, cheer up Mizore-chan, Naruto said with a serious but warm voice as he moved to sit by Mizore's side. If that's the reason why you decided to become my friend, then I'm glad that you are so weird. To tell you the truth, I felt unaccepted by everyone on this place until today. Thank you Naruto, Mizore said with an very beautiful and authentic smile in her face. Don't worry, after all what are friends for? Naruto said as he gave her a friendly punch in the shoulder. But wow Mizore, that smile in your face, it's truly priceless, the blonde said with a friendly tone as he laid on the floor with his arms crossed behind his head to look at the crimson-red sky. Mizore blushed a little because of what Naruto said about her smile. Then she looked at Naruto as she said, so now that we are friends, maybe it would be nice to know more about each other, don't you think so? Where are you from, Naruto? Mizore asked him with a shy tone of voice. Naruto smiled and closed his eyes for a moment to think. She is my friend now, but still I can't tell her the truth, especially the one about what I am. Well, then I will tell her just part of the reality. He, tough as he is, he opened his eyes once again and then he said, I'm from a small village that is hidden in a forest between the mountains in the northern part of Europe. I had lived there my whole life, so technically everything is new for me right now. As he remembered Konoha, he didn't feel too nostalgic. Probably it was because nearly everyone there hated him by something he wasn't even able to decide to be. There was just a small group of people he did miss because they learned to accept him for who he was and didn't feared what he was, or at least they appeared not to be. That made him wonder if one day he could tell Mizore or anyone else, and how would they react, and because of that thought he couldn't help to feel depressed. Incredible, so you are from another country. It must be really pretty over there. I have always dreamed with going around the world meeting every place I can, but it's a real shame that we monsters can't travel like normal people, Mizore said with a sad tone of voice as she pouted. Really, why is that? Is there a problem with monsters traveling around the world? Naruto asked with a rather curious tone of voice as he sat up to look at her. Of course there's a problem. I mean, humanity doesn't know about our existence, and to get a passports for traveling you need to go through a lot of checkups. So it's quite sure they would notice our differences if we were to take them. So for us, traveling is truly prohibited to travel around the world. But you know, it's quite weird you don't know about this. If you were a monster, after all, is common knowledge. After all, is one of the many reasons of why monsters hate humans. You know, you are quite suspicious, Naruto, Mizore stated with an intrigued tone of voice as she sent suspicious glares towards the blonde boy. Damn it, I screw it up. I didn't know about that fact. And now I'm suspicious of not being a monster. Under her eyes, I have to do something and fast to mend my mistake, Naruto thought nervously, but then he had an idea and started talking. Well Mizore, to tell you the truth, I'm quite ignorant of most of the laws of our race, cause you see I grew up between humans. Actually they took care of me until the day I left. I never came in contact with other monsters until today, he said, trying to sound serious and a little nostalgic in order that she believed him. Really, but why were you raised by humans? I mean, no Yukai parent with a right judgment would let humans to raise their children, cause you know humanity can be terribly scary when they are afraid of something, Mizore said with an astonished tone in her voice. Well, that happened because I don't have any parents. I'm an orphan, Mizore, Naruto said with a melancholic and a little irritated tone of voice as he looked to the floor. He couldn't help to feel sad. After all, it was true that he never get to know his parents. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, so please forgive me. I didn't want it to hurt you, Mizore told him with a concerned tone of voice and with worried eyes. No, don't worry, after all it was impossible for you to know, but more importantly, why do humans and monsters dislike each other so much? I mean, I grew up with them and some of them were really nice. It's true that there are ones who are very bad people, but to hate the whole humanity just because a few ones are bad, it's just stupid, Naruto said with a very annoyed tone of voice. Well, can you tell us who is bad or who is good? No one can, so we prefer to don't risk our existence and better hide. But don't be angry with me personally, I don't hate humans. Actually, I used to go wander around in a human town that was near to my village, Mizore said, sounding a little hurt because of Naruto's reaction. I'm sorry Mizore, I'm not angry with you, it's just that I'm just sick of hearing about how people get to hate between each other just because they are different. It's too stupid to act like that, Naruto said with a lot of anger and sadness on his voice. Hey Naruto, why do you care so much about that? It's not like you are the one being hated or something. Well, at least not here, you are one of us after all, Mizore said with a comforting voice and a smile in her face, trying to calm him. Yeah right, I would wish to be one of you and not a demon. If you think that of humans, what would you do? If you knew about what I am, damn it, and here I was thinking that maybe I could have an opportunity here, Naruto thought, and that only made him more angry and sad, and because of that he reacted without being conscious. Why do I care so much about it? Well, because I have been a victim of that kind of hatred, goddammit, because I'm a Naruto yelled at her with pure hatred on his voice, but then he realized of what he was about to tell her, so he stopped, and then he noticed the hurt expression in her face and tried to apologize. Hey Mizore, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have yelled at you, it's just that, he was telling her, trying to fix things, but she interrupted him. Shut up, I know why you did it, and here I was thinking that you were different to everyone else, but no, you or even worse, you were only looking for a way to hurt me even more, you idiot. If you didn't like me like everyone else, you should have said it before, but no, you wanted to play with me, didn't you? That was why you talked with me in the first place, to hurt me more with your lies about wanting to be my friend, you monster. Don't try to fix things, cause you made it. You have hurt me more than anyone before, so why don't you just, she yelled at Naruto as tears fell from her eyes. Hey Mizore, I didn't want it to hurt you, it's just that I remembered some bad memories of my childhood and that made me. The blonde was trying to apologize for what he did, but he was cut short by an icy wind that blew with strength against him. Don't lie to me, why don't you just go away, I hate you, she yelled with anger, and she pointed her arms towards Naruto, and a strong wave of icy wind sent him flying off the roof. When he realized what just happened, he was falling towards the ground, so he reacted and made some seals with his hands. Futon Rinkuden, and with that he inhaled a great quantity of air, and then he shoot off his mouth a ball of air to slow down his fall to the ground. The people who were walking on the ground were startled when a very strong wave of wind impacted against the ground, and then it was followed by a blonde boy landing on the same place of the impact thing. Like, do you see that? I have never seen an ability like that one. Was he flying just now? Where heard around the place? Damn, what an emotionally unstable girl she resulted to be, but in the end I deserved that. After all, I yelled at her quite bad. Well, I will give her some time to cool down and then try to apologize, but seriously, I could have died from that fall, Naruto thought to himself as he looked up towards the roof. Sukune and Mocha were in shock for what just happened a moment ago in front of their eyes. First they saw someone was falling from the roof of the main school building, then that person shoot something that looked like a bullet of wind which impacted against the ground, and now in the place where that thing impacted Naruto was standing looking quite disoriented, and a lot of people were yelling at him. Oh my god, I think that answers my question. Naruto is definitely not human if he did the thing with the wind. Damn, I really think I should leave this place as soon as possible. But then what would happen to Mocha? Sukune thought as he turned to look at Mocha, who seemed to be interested on what just happened. In that moment she turned to look at Sukune with a curious look in her eyes. Hey Sukune, what wrong? You look like if something is troubling you. Nothing, I was just thinking that I have to call home to tell them I'm alright, Sukune said, sounding nervous. In that moment Naruto noticed them standing just a few meters from where he was, so he ran towards them to say hi. Hey Sukune, how you doing? I was wondering where could you be since you left the classroom so quickly, but now I see the reason. It seemed that you befriended with the vamp girl from this morning. Oh hey Naruto, well you see I was dragged by her, so I didn't have the chance to ask you to come, Sukune said with a mechanical tone of voice because he had a lot of thoughts in his head. Oh don't worry, I had a great time with my new friend Mizore until she tossed me off the roof, Naruto said with an enthusiastic tone of voice. She tossed you off the roof, but why friend? Don't so that, Mocha said, sounding impressed by what the blonde kid just said. I guess I made her angry, but don't worry, it was nothing serious. To tell you the truth, since I was a little kid I tend to make people get angry with me, especially girls, because it seems I don't understand them quite well. But seriously and without offense, why do girls have to be so complicated? Naruto said with a carefree tone of voice as he pooted. Mocha couldn't help to laugh about all the things this Naruto guy was saying. Yeah, we girls are kind of complicated, but don't worry, I'm sure she will forgive you. After all, you seem to be a cool guy. Hey, thanks, you seem to be quite nice to, Naruto told her with a friendly smile on his face, and then he turned to look at Sukune. Hey, what kind nasty friend you are? First you left without me and now you don't present me with you new friend, Naruto said as he frowned. Sukune felt a little more enthusiastic because of the way in which Naruto acted. Oh, sorry about that. Well, Naruto, she is Mocha Akashiya and Mocha, he is Naruto Uzumaki. It's a pleasure to meet you, Naruto, Mocha said with a friendly tone of voice as she extended her hand to Naruto. No, the pleasure is mine. You don't have the chance to meet a girl as cute as you every day, he said as he shook hand with her. But anyway, is it true that you are a vampire, Mocha? Mocha blushed a little because of what Naruto said, but then she became really serious. Well, yes. Do you have a problem with that? I'll understand if you do. After all, nearly no one like us, she said with a sad tone in her voice. Naruto stood there looking at her with an analytic look in his eyes, but then he started saying with an overenthusiastic tone of voice, that is totally awesome. I have always wanted to meet a vampire in person. You definitely have to be my friend. I'm like a total fan of your kind. I have real lots and lots of stories about your race. So Mocha, what do you say? Do you want to be my friend too? Please say yes. Mocha couldn't believe what she was hearing. There in front of her was someone who seemed to be in love of the vampire race, but she was happy because her fear of not being liked by Sukune friend faded as she heard his words. Yeah, I would be glad to be your friend, Mocha said with a lot of enthusiasm too as she gave him a hug, not one as good as the one she gave Sukune on that morning, but a hug in the end. Just one thing, I don't want you sucking from my blood, for that you got my friend over there. If you drink from me it would be like cheating your first one, don't you think, Mocha-chan? Naruto said with a mocking grin on his face. Mocha blushed a little while saying, yeah, you are right, don't worry about it. After all, the blood from your friend is so delicious. Really? Well then, in that case I will have to taste it, don't you think? Sukune, come on, show me that neck, Naruto said as he walked towards Sukune with an evil grin on his face. Holy crap, don't tell me that you are a vampire too, cause you know I don't want to end up as dry as a desert, Sukune said with a little fear as he also tried to joke too, but he had a shocked look on his face. Naruto put his hands on Sukune's shoulders and leaned forward, but he started laughing at Sukune. Of course I'm not a vampire, but I thought it would be a good joke, and actually it was. You should look at your face right now, Naruto said with a joking tone as he kept laughing. Sukune couldn't help to laugh a little because of Naruto's joke. Seriously Naruto, you give me the creeps a moment ago. That was not really nice, but it was a good one. He didn't know why, but being like that with Naruto and Mocha made him feel at peace, and it felt like being a human in a school of monsters didn't matter anymore. But suddenly his tranquility was shattered when he felt someone grabbing him from the back of his neck, and then he was lifted from the ground as he heard an evil chuckle. Seizu Komiya, the same guy that thought humans were disposable, was the one lifting him from the ground. As he chuckled evilly, seriously you bastard, I have been watching you the whole day and I just can't get the reason of why someone like Mocha is with you, Seizu said as he pointed towards Mocha with lust in his eyes. You know, to me he is just a useless weakling, he is such a loser, so why the hell you hang out with him when you can spend time with someone as cool as me, Seizu said with an evil grin on his face as he shook Sukune with a lot of strength. You are wrong, Sukune is not a loser, he is a very kind person and I would prefer to hang around with him 1,000 times over you, so let him go, Mocha stated, trying to sound serious and decided, but she was very scared. Who, so you like him because he is kind? Oh how sweet. You make me want to throw up, Seizu said with a mocking tone of voice. By now Naruto was debating himself with the idea of spilling Seizu guts all over the place or trying to solve this in a pacific way. And besides, I can also be kind to you, but first you would have to be naked in a bed with me and then you would see how kind I am, Seizu said with a perverted but evil grin on his face. In that moment Mocha was very scared about what he had in mind. Like, if I would let you do something like that, you fucking piece of shit, Naruto said with a dark and very serious tone of voice. It was the same tone that he used in the morning to talk to the headmaster guards, And drop my friend right now and then disappear if you don't want to face some ugly consequences, the blonde stated with a very cold tone of voice as he walked between Mocha and Seizu. How did you just call me fucking blonde, and why the hell should I listen to you when I could crush you two with my eyes closed? And actually it wouldn't be a bad idea after all. I fell sick with just looking at you acting all cool with everyone, Seizu said with an evil voice as the arm which he was using to lift Sukune started to transform in a very gigantic and monstrous one. Naruto, be careful, he could harm Sukune quite badly before you can do anything, Mocha said with a lot of concern in her voice as she turned to look at him. She was surprised by the cold and dark expression he had on his face. Don't worry Mocha-chan, I won't give him the opportunity, the blonde stated with a reassuring but cold tone of voice. Then he turned to look at Seizu. I will warn you one last time, drop my friend right now, he said with the same dark tone of voice. And if I don't want to do it and instead I decide to do this, Seizu said with an evil grin on his face as he started to crush Sukune with his gigantic hand, making the poor boy scream in pain. Well, don't say that I didn't warn you, Naruto said, with a cold but angry tone of voice, and with that said, in a split of a second he took out 3 shurikens from a pouch he had on the back of his pants and charged them with wind chakra, and finally he threw them towards Seizu, who couldn't even see them flying. He realized what just happened when he felt a terrible pain on the arm he was using to crush Sukune. It felt like if 3 razors had gone through his arm. Because of the terrible pain he dropped Sukune to the ground, and then he also fell to his knees. The pain he could feel was terrible, and when he turned to look at his arm it had 3 holes that were bleeding quite bad. Seizu felt his rage rising and he turned to launch an attack towards the blonde boy, but he was not in front of him anymore. Seizu suddenly felt cold steel pressed against his neck, and when he turned his gaze he noticed that the blonde kid was behind him, pressing something that looked like a knife against his neck. Don't even think on doing anything stupid now, I could cut your head off with this if I wanted to, Naruto told him with the same cold tone of voice. Every person that was around where they were was impressed and afraid of what just happened a moment ago. They were thinking that Seizu was going to crush a poor boy and then his 2 friends, but now they were watching a completely different thing that was quite unexpected. Like, if that was possible, you won't be able to cut my skin with that lame knife, Seizu said with an annoyed tone as he tried to move to strike Naruto, but he stopped when he started to hear a sound similar to the one of a chainsaw and started to feel an intense pain on his chest. When he turned to look at Naruto's hand he notices that the strange knife had something around it that looked similar to Yuki, but it was green and was cutting through the skin of his chest. Now you believe me or you want another show of what I can do, the blonde stated with a cold voice as he put the kunai against Seizu's neck once again. Then he turned to look at Mocha. Hey Mocha-chan, could you please check if Sukune is alright? He is not moving, this time the blonde asked her with his normal friendly tone of voice. The pink-haired girl was shocked by what just happened a moment ago. She managed to see that Naruto took out something that looked like little stars made of metal from a pouch on his left leg, and then it seemed that he threw them against Seizu, but it was impossible that such little things could cause that kind of damage to Seizu's arm. Okay, I'll check him out, she said with a worried tone of voice, and she went towards the place where Sukune was lying on the ground. He seems to be okay, he just lost conscious because of the crush he received, so you can calm down Naruto, Mocha said with a little smile towards his new friend. Well then, in that case I think I can spare your useless life, but listen to me, don't ever try to hurt my friend again, cause next time I won't be merciful, Naruto stated, with a cold look on his face as he made some seals with his free hand, Doden Kekai Dorodomu, and after Naruto said that walls of stone and earth started to form around Seizu until he was completely covered by them. You will stay there until I decide to let you go, and don't even try to break free cause the walls are enforced with my power. It would be useless, so have a good time inside of that cage, Naruto said with an evil grin on his face. You bastard, you really think that this is going to stop me? I'll come out and crush you, Seizu shouted from inside the stone cage as he started to realize his true form and started punching the walls, but for his surprise every crack that he made to the walls was regenerated in the same instant. You motherfucker, I'll get you for this, Seizu shouted angrily from inside his prison. Naruto walked towards where Sukune was, and then he picked him from the ground and put him on his back. As he turned to look at Mocha, well then Mocha-chan, let's take him to his dorm so he can rest. After all, he was squeezed quite badly. Do you know which number is his room? Yeah, I believe Sukune mentioned that his dorm was on the 3rd floor of the boys' dorm and it was the 322, Mocha said, trying to sound unimpressed, but she was dying to ask Naruto how did he do all those things against Seizu, and she wasn't the only one. Nearly everyone around that place was impressed by the blonde abilities. Okay, let's go, or do you have anything else to do? Naruto asked her with a friendly way, and please don't put that worried look. That big guy is not going to get out from there that easily. Okay, let's go. After all, Sukune and I were heading towards the dorms before this happened, but seriously Naruto, what you did a moment ago was impressive. I mean, how did you harm Seizu so badly with just some little metal stars? Mocha told him with an impression on her voice as they started to walk along the road that lead to the dormitories. Hey, is more impressive that you were able to see what I did. Normally no one is capable of doing that, and about how I did it, well, it was a technique that is thought where I live. It lets you manipulate certain elements from nature, and what I did back there was a wind manipulation technique to charge my shurikens with wind energy in order to make them faster and more sharp, and the thing that I used to imprison Seizu was an earth manipulation technique. Quite impressive, don't you think? Naruto stated with a proud tone of voice. Yeah, it's a very interesting technique. If it lets you manipulate the elements, you must be a mage or something, and that thing that you used that looked like a knife and your shurikens must be like some kind of wand, am I right? Mocha asked with a lot of curiosity. No, you are totally wrong. First of all, I'm not a mage, and that thing that looked like knife is called kunai, and it's shuriken, not shuriken, and the kind of elemental manipulation that I use is completely different to magic, because magic is more like a contract of soul that one makes with the world, and the techniques that I use only manipulate them by using your own internal energy, Naruto explained her, trying to sound wise. I see, it must be quite difficult to learn to do that. I mean, to be able of controlling the nature with your yuki and all, but aren't kunais some kind of weapon that was used in the past by some ancient Japanese warriors that were called ninjas? Mocha asked to the blonde as she looked at him with curiosity. Well, yes, and that's why I use them. I am a big fan of ninjas since I was a little child, Naruto told her, sounding a little nervous. Good, she is so clever. For a moment there I thought that she was about to catch me. I have to be more careful around Mocha, he thought to himself. Oh, I see, so you use them because you are a fan of ninjas. Well, I think that is quite cool, to tell you the truth, because you know I used to read some mangas about ninjas and samurais when I was a child, and they were so cool and heroic, just like you back there, Mocha said with a lot of enthusiasm in her voice and a smile in her face. Now I can see why Sukune liked you that much as a friend. You really are a very cool guy, Naruto. Hey, thanks for that, but it was really nothing. After all, I was just protecting the people that I care for, Naruto said with a warm smile on his face. Well, it seems that we have arrived, that blonde said as they reached some tall apartment buildings that looked like if they were haunted. Wow, are we really going to live here for the next 3 years? I mean, it's totally awesome. The building has so much attitude and a great presence, don't you think so too, Naruto? Mocha asked him with a lot of enthusiasm. Yeah, it's a cool place, but I think it could use some orange color, Naruto said with a joking tone. Hey, that wouldn't be right. Orange is a terrible color. I actually think that you are the only person that I know that looks good with that color, Mocha said with the same joking tone and a smile in her face. Well, Mocha-chan, I think I'm going to take Sukune to his dorm. He is starting to get heavier. You know I don't have super strength, Naruto said as he acted like he was getting crushed by Sukune. Okay, in that case I'll see you both tomorrow, but please tell me if anything happens to him, okay? Mocha said with a lot of concern in her voice. Well, I'll be on my way now. It's starting to get dark and I still have to do some homework. See you, Mocha said, and then she started to run towards the girls' dormitories. Well, I really hope that she is a good enough reason for you to stay here, Sukune, cause I can see in her eyes that before she met us she was very lonely just like me, Naruto thought as he carried Sukune to his room and settled him on his bed, and then he went to his own room that was on the roof of the building. An hour later, Naruto was trying to eat some ramen at the kitchen on his room, but he looked pale and was sweating a lot. He had started to feel sick in the moment he was alone on his room. Man, what the hell is happening to me? My head hurts too much and I feel sick. I have never felt sick before. For God's sake, I'm a demon. I thought that immunity to diseases came with the package. He dug his head on his hands. The pain was increasing. He tried to stand up and go to lay on a sofa of the living room, but in the middle of the way his legs failed him and he fell to the ground. What is this? Why do I feel so weak? What is going on? Could it be that I'm dying? He thought, and then he felt like his left arm was burning. He turned to look at it and he was surprised when he saw the black markings left by the soul bonding technique reappearing all over his arm, even when he was wearing the glove that Tsunade gave to him. What is this? Oh no, please don't tell me that. Why? You it think I told why you to disappear. The blonde mumbled as the pain on his arm and his head started to increase again until his vision started to blur and finally he lost conscious. Naruto felt like he was falling. He tried to open his eyes but he couldn't. He felt so weak that even his eyelids felt like if they weighed a ton. He felt how he was going deeper and deeper into his own darkness, until he felt he crashed against some kind of wet floor. In that same moment he felt his strength returning to his body and he was able to open his eyes. The first thing he managed to see was a waterfall, and when he looked around he noticed two giant statues standing at each side of the waterfall. In that moment he realized where he was. This can't be. This place is the Valley of End, the place where he thought, and then he heard a big explosion, so he looked towards the upper part of the waterfall. He could see a big sphere of shining light exploding, and then from the explosion two figures fell at high speed and crashed against the water in front of him. Don't tell me that those are me, and he started to thought, but his thoughts were cut off by a familiar voice that he hadn't heard in a very long time started to speak. Come on, don't joke with me. Is that really all the strength that the so-called monster of Konoha has? Sasuke said with an evil grin on his face as he stood up from the water. He was on his demonic form that was given to him thanks to the evil seal that Orochimaru put on him. Aren't you supposed to be a demon, a creature made of pure hate and power? Fight seriously or I'll kill you in this instant, Sasuke stated with a harsh tone of voice as he started to walk towards the younger version of Naruto that was standing in front of him. Don't call me by that name, Sasuke. You are supposed to be my friend. You more than anyone know that I didn't chose to be what I am and that I would never use my demon powers against my friends, the younger version of Naruto said with a lot of pain in his voice as he barely managed to stand up. He was pretty beaten up and looked quite different to the actual Naruto. First of all, he had longer hair and he had more reddish-orange lashes in it. Both of his eyes were crimson red and his pupils were slits, but apart from his appearance he was badly hurt. He had a hole that was bleeding quite bad on his left shoulder and lots of cuts all over his body. Also, you keep looking down towards me. Just because you are a fucking demon doesn't mean that no one can beat you up. Isn't that hole on your shoulder caused by my Chidori proof enough for you? If you hadn't moved a little back there you would be dead by now. That was aimed for your heart, Sasuke stated with a crazy and evil tone of voice. Sasuke, you are wrong. I have never looked down upon you. I have always watched you as my equal, my rival, but over all of that as my friend. So please come back to Konoha with me. There we can find a way to be stronger together with Sakura, Naruto said with a sad friendly smile on his face. Yeah right, go back with you so that you can keep getting stronger and stronger and win all the prizes and congratulations from everyone while I'm left in the shadows. Don't you realize that as long as I stay close to a monster like you I will never get stronger? Actually, if you really want to help me, why don't you let me kill you and with that earn my Mangekyo Sharingan, Sasuke said with a mocking tone and an evil grin on his face. Sasuke, what happened with you? There was a time in which we used to train and hang around together. We even get to share our pain together. From everyone in the village you were the only one who could truly understand my pain because you had experienced the same, the pain of losing everything and the suffering of loneliness. So why now you want to go away and treat me like everyone else, like if I was something that should have never existed? You, the person that I once considered to be like a brother, the younger Naruto said with an empty expression on his face as tears rolled from his eyes. Do you even have to ask? That is because I realized that everyone were right. This world would be a better place if you didn't existed, and I would get stronger because by you dying I would get to evolve my Sharingan, and imagine the reputation I could get. I could be called Sasuke Uchiha, the Demon Slayer. So just stay there and make things easier for me, Sasuke stated with a dark tone of voice as he started to form a new Chidori on his right hand. I don't care of anything you said. I still consider you my brother and I will take you back to Konoha with me. Even if I have to use that power I will do it. You are coming with, the younger Naruto was saying, but he was stopped by the terrible pain he felt on his chest. Everything had happened so fast, so when he realized what happened he was already started to faint to his own death because he had been pierced on the heart by his own friend technique. Sasuke removed his arm from the hole in the middle of Naruto's chest and as blood spilled from it the blonde fell to the ground trembling. Just shut up and die already. Everything will be better without you presence. But I won't deny that it would have been fun to fight against you, true self-fucking demon. Even thought I doubt it would change the outcome, Sasuke said with a cold tone of voice as he started to walk away, and the Mangekyo Sharingan appeared on his eyes which caused him to laugh maniac, but he was cut off by an explosion of a terribly demonic chakra that crashed on his back. He could feel how his wings that looked like hand were ripped from his body, so he knelt in the ground because of the great pain he felt. But when he tried to look back to see what was the thing that hit him, he was picked by the collar of his shirt by Naruto, but he looked a lot more sinister than before. His hair was longer than before. This time it was completely red. He had some rare markings all over his arms and chest. The irises of his eyes were pitch black and his pupils were of a darker red color, but what was more impressive were the 9 crimson red tails engulfed in black flames that were dancing on his back, and also all the injuries that he had were completely healed now. So you really believed that you had one stupid human? In the moment I said that I would use any measure to bring you back, your destiny was sealed. But seriously, I can't believe that some stupid runt like you could have all that darkness inside you, even nearly killed us just to satisfy your greed for power. I promised myself to take you back, but now that I consider it a little, your soul may be worth of be consumed by my flames. Naruto on his demonic form stated with a very dark and evil tone as he laughed evilly. But first, those are the eyes that you long to have in order to kill you, brother, and to get them you dared to end our life. Let's take them off first so your dream can never be fulfilled, Demon Naruto said as he sent an evil glare to Sasuke's eyes. What do you mean? Don't tell me that you actually are going to, Sasuke was saying, but he stopped when he felt a terrible pain as Naruto pierced his eyes with his claws and then ripped them off of his face. The only thing that could be heard were the screams of agony of the young Sasuke. The older Naruto stood there watching the horrible scene that was going on in front of him, but he turned fast and sent a punch to the presence that he knew was behind him, but his punch was stopped by another hand. Stop this right now. I have seen enough. It's bad enough to remember this every day of my life, but to watch it again is like being in hell, Naruto declared with a lot of rage on his voice. So you knew that this was all my doing all this time? Well then, do you like my reunion gift? Probably not. By the look you have on your face, said the man that was in front of him was a grown-up version of the demon form that was fighting with Sasuke. Come on, don't give me that look. After all, this is a reunion between us after hell knows how many time. Look, it'll make everything disappear if you want, but are you sure you want that? It's about to get to the best part where we rip him to pieces, the demon form said with the same cold tone but trying to make fun of Naruto. Make it disappear, and if you can disappear too it would be great. Actually, I thought that last time we talked I made you understand that I wasn't going to use your power ever again and that I didn't want you roaming ever again on my mind, Naruto said as he grabbed his demon form by the collar of his jacket. Come on, you talk like if I was a stranger on your mind, but you know I am you and you are me. I could never go away even if I wanted to, my little half soul, so don't go acting like that to me, cause you know I can cause us a lot of suffering, and if I have returned after 3 years and a half it's because we need to talk. You have been doing a lot of stupid decisions for us lately and that is getting me quite angry, the demon form stated with a cold and angry tone as he turned and started to walk towards a passageway that was behind him. As he did that, the whole image of what happened at the Valley of End vanished. So come on, my other half, we need to talk and decide our damn future, the demon form said, showing more anger on his voices as he looked towards Naruto. The end. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.